welcome one, welcome all. We are back for FTIU here this week with week 87. My name is Rocket, and joining me is the one and only Polaris. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm Polaris. I've never commentated before, so I'm very excited.
Yes. And before us, like I mentioned, we will have the introduction for FTIU week 87 with our teams just getting kind of situated here. I believe we'll be taking a look for our round one between Amethyst Blizzard and C Drive.
I think we're a little biased towards C Drive already because we think their name's fun.
Yes, they have a very cool logo, which I always appreciate to see with these FTIU teams. Actually, a little bit of history about C Drive as a team. They originally created in the Splatoon Beginners Academies in Season 2 way back when, and now have made their way to becoming a staple of FTIU. I mean, previously, I believe their highest placement was 5th place, so hopefully maybe this time they can break through and get that victory.
Yeah, maybe today is C Drive's time for victory. We'll have to see how they drive it.
Absolutely. And looking at the other side for Amethyst Blizzard, you have them as very, very tough opponents as well. I mean, they are pretty hefty veterans in terms of the FTIU tournament to speak of. They played in, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. The FTIU is the most recent one being the 85th edition where they placed 10th place. So both these sides have a little bit more of that upper bracket, that gold bracket experience behind them. So it's going to be up to whoever puts it together here in this round one.
Yeah, it looks like it's rounding up to be a very exciting tournament.
Absolutely, and we're going to kick things off first with Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi. Any thoughts on this map mode in particular?
I'm a dually main, so Mahi Mahi is one of my #1 enemies.
Yeah, and a part of that is just how difficult it is to kind of get into the zone and retake into the zone. Mahi very notorious for its very difficult retakes, just because everybody has to be on the same page with one another, really being able to move into the zone, because getting staggered on this map on retake is really difficult to recover from just because of the nature of the map.
Yeah, definitely a tricky one to get back into mid, but as they say, it isn't over till it's over, so we'll see how it goes for these two teams.
Absolutely, and reminder, this is best of 3, just in groups, so trying to keep things flowing as they try to leave a good impression. Both these teams try to leave a good first impression, just really being able to kind of get the ball rolling, kind of develop a little bit that momentum, of course, with this being the first game in the tournament. Try to maybe get some of those first game jitters out and get warmed up overall.
Yeah, definitely some jitters in the air.
For sure. And as we just wait for these two sides to kind of get ready, trying to just see if they can come up with some weapon comps here. We will see the rest of our map pool kind of listed out for us. Game 2, Undertow Spillway Rainmaker is another interesting one that I'll definitely be keeping my eye on, just because of the nature of how back and forth Rainmaker can be and how much it can change in a matter of moments. But enough speaking of that, let's focus on Game 1 first.
Looks like got some pretty similar couple weapons between the teams that are the same, so we'll see how they end up using them.
Yeah, that is C Drive in the orange and Amethyst Blizzard in the blue. Both sides bringing the reach slider, very common on this map mode, of course, coming from that dread. But speaking of dreads, you see Amethyst Blizzard's dread go down pretty early to NBZ Zap. They already go down themselves, down to the 80-point mark. Already a good start for C Drive to get control into the zone, but you see Amethyst Blizzard just trying to see if they can get any opening to contest it.
Oh, and there goes the reach sliders, both reach sliders. Looks like they took the zone for a moment, but C Drive's back on there. But they're going down. And Amethyst does have the zone now. We'll see if they can hold it longer than C Drive did.
AC Darkroot poking from that left side with that rapid blast is very good on this map. Just for poking under those ledges. Same thing with Ballistic's Dread, managing to find one from underneath. Again, countered by the D-Tab on the side of C Drive. But with those picks going into the favor of Amethyst Blizzard, there is the lead and there is the water level being dropped. So now SC Drive has to get into the zone soon to try to contest this lead to stop it from spiraling out of control.
Yeah, I mean, we got everybody on the nap right now, so we'll see if they can make a push. It looks like they are working on it. Got that splatling going in.
Left side trying to contest, trying to poke away with that edit, but still, C-Drive unable to get a strong hold into the zone as this Blizzard has done a great job at holding these angles yet again. Dark Drew, this is exactly where you want your blaster to be, just poking around this left side, preventing any C-Drive member from dropping into the zone. Birdio has this Reslider to go in. Can it get a pick? Yes, it will, but it won't be able to contest the zone, at least for the time being, as you still have 3 members of Amethyst Blizzard poking away, but I mean, the rest of C-Drive were able to follow through nicely off of what looked like a Reslider that wasn't able to get into the zone.
Yeah, I think just with that one pick was just enough for them to get in there, which is I mean, that's cool. That's I don't know what else to offer on that, but it's going to be highly contested. I think. No, they're kind of both back in the middle.
Another pick weapon choice that you don't see pretty often is King's Paintbrush, but off of the rip of those nice clean picks from C-Drive, they hold control of the zone, and time is running out for Amethyst Blizzard to make it what looks like a very promising lead for Amethyst Blizzard has completely turned on its head. 11 ticks remain. Reslider coming in from C-Drive to secure the zone. The 2 players now 3. A wipeout will follow for Amethyst Blizzard as very nicely done. The retakes, I was mentioning it at the beginning of this game, they have to be precise, and Amethyst Blizzard did it very, very cleanly to take the game.
Yeah, definitely, and they got a tactical down now, so it's up to them to hold the zone. Maybe they can win it here.
Penalty points tick down as well. Pressure just keeps changing hands back and forth. C-Drive looks very promising on this retry with a 2-player down situation already being forced. Reslider went in already, but just left to the edit on the side of C-Drive to try to take this one back. Amethyst Blizzard will hold firm, and it's just constantly back and forth between both these sides. You kind of see this experience that we were talking about at the beginning of this set, how these teams are familiar with this tournament, how it functions, just because of the nature of how close this game has been already. But in the waning minutes, in 30 seconds, all it takes is one mistake to completely snowball this and give the win to the other team.
Yes, both teams have definitely been very impressive so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them win at this point.
Time ticking down, penalty ticking down for C-Drive. They don't have really any motivation or need or urgency to push in. With the safe lead, you can just poke away and wait for Amethyst Blizzard to move into the zone. Of course, they'll be moving in with Ballistic's Reef there. You see, immediately capping the zone. Minute left. Amethyst Blizzard still have a little bit of pressure on their backs, just trying to get out of that penalty to retake this lead. Zuka coming out as well to try to secure the zone, but this is where these kills are going to matter the most. In these final crucial moments, 2 down already for C-Drive, as you see the Reslider is available for their side to try to quickly retake the zone, but time is ticking down. The lead is narrowing. Ballistic trying to keep things contested. The Reslider being canceled on that right side might be the equalizer here. It's just 1 point away from taking the lead. C-Drive remains firm.
Yeah, this is going crazy for both teams. Yeah, we'll have to see 1 point between them. Whether C-Drive can hold the zone or Amethyst will be able to do a last-minute retake. It's looking pretty even.
Seconds left, time ticking down, trades are happening. You have Birdio moving in with that Reslider. 2 players now, 4 in total fall for Amethyst Blizzard, and C-Drive with a real nice wipeout at the very end will put the nail in the coffin for that game, taking game 1 for C-Drive.
That was very impressive performance. Especially on Mahi Mahi.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you just saw the absolute synergy that C-Drive has. You had the Decav and the Dread going in hand. Dread, very, very strong weapon for a flat map such as Mahi Mahi, and I mean, we both saw it back and forth, just how these teams were able to retake in a quick succession, how they were able to move in with their specials, and that's something that is not fairly common when we see these FTIU teams, and just in terms of how on point, how in synergy they are, and this definitely speaks to the experience that both these teams have yet again. And if that's how game 1 is gonna start, game 2 I'm sure is gonna be also equally contested.
Yeah, we got Rainmaker this time, so we'll have to see if they stick with the slider or not. It's powerful, but not so much for Rainmaker as with Splat Zones.
Absolutely. Another underrated thing that we saw from C Drive was having that Gal pick as well. Of course, we had Gal get its buff recently with its shot trajectory, and we can see it play a little bit more of that aggressive role. And with some paint support like what C Drives is running for their comp, they're running Decav, Dread, Gal, and Edits. So you really have the freedom for the Gal to not necessarily have to focus on painting the zone. Of course, you can play to the strengths of a Gal, which is your mobility, and we saw it a lot being used by C Drive to just push with that overwhelming force.
Yeah, definitely. Is this the first from the ink up since the update? I don't remember.
I don't believe so, but I mean, we do have the opportunity to see the Gal flex its muscles if that is the case, but I mean, we kind of saw it there. If you're on the side of Amethyst Blizzard, though, that's still a very winnable, this is still a very winnable set for you because just of how close that first game was. 1 point away from that retake and 1 point away from it completely turning on its head.
Yeah, I've definitely seen quite a few games in a row go from be 1 point difference between the teams. I wonder if that's something we'll see again here. I wouldn't be surprised.
Absolutely, but enough said as we move on to game 2. C Drive have the opportunity to close it out here if they're able to take this one. Amethyst Blizzard just trying to punch right back, and we already see some weapon changes from both sides. In particular, for the side of C Drive, you have that glam shot, which is very commonly seen for Rainmaker in particular, just because of that Kraken. On the other side, Dark Drew switching over to the Zimmy, as well as Ballistic on that Viper.
Yeah, 2 Splatlings on Amethyst. We'll have to see how that goes. I think I don't know if I've seen that a whole lot, but we'll see if it works out for them.
Yeah, and you have TCT King on this paintbrush yet again, a very dominating weapon in terms of range if it has enough paint, but not if Chloe is in their sight lines there. Chloe just being able to take them out, being able to get that cooler up as well, finding another onto Dark Drew, and the backline getting some love, forcing out these members of Amethyst Blizzard, and they're 3 players down. C-Drive have a great opportunity to kind of push it up this left side. They will, and with that pick yet again with the edit, getting that delayed wipeout, not a weapon you fairly commonly think would get a nice 3k on opening there, but Amethyst Blizzard responded very nicely to hold that checkpoint pop.
Chloe's really killing it out here. Yeah, with the first checkpoint, we'll see if Amethyst is gonna be able to push back or if they'll just have to defend for now. It looks like they're going for it. They're making some progress over to C-Drive's checkpoints. Oop, is that 2 picks with the Rainmaker I saw? That's very impressive.
Trying to poke away, just trying to find an alleyway and buy some time for the rest of their team to move in. Ballistic with that hammer could very much secure this checkpoint, but no, just saved at the buzzer by that decav here. You have the cleaning up with 2 players down in total for Amethyst Blizzard. C-Drive will force this push yet again back into top mid, and now both sides have had an opportunity to get those initial pushes going. Ballistic just waiting for an opportunity, maybe get the flank here, but they are snuffed out by Chloe, who is cleaning up that tick. Really nicely done to stay alive. Unfortunate for the Viper to not really come out of that interaction with anything, but Chloe yet again on this edit has been a very strong presence for C-Drive to just hold space in mid.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, yeah, they're really killing it out here. But not to say Amethyst isn't fighting back, because they're definitely doing. Sorry, I'm looking for the words and they're not coming to me.
Yeah, there's just a lot that's happening, and TCT King with that paintbrush completely shuts down that checkpoint. The wipeout to boot for Amethyst Blizzard moving in here. They do have a Zuka and a bubble available, Amethyst Blizzard that is, to get this push going. So if they're able to cycle out these specials, it can be a very dangerous threat for C-Drive to really have to worry about Zuka pops. But 2 players down for Amethyst Blizzard could mean this is reset back to neutral, as it's just left to Small Wolf with that Rainmaker.
Yeah, once again, we're 1 point away between the teams. Getting back to another very close game. Oh, we saw a Kraken pop over there. We'll see if they manage to hit anyone there. It looks like. Oh wow!
wipeout yet again by Amethyst Blizzard, but exactly what you were mentioning, a very tight game. Neither side has popped a checkpoint on Undertow, which is very surprising to see, just given how if you're able to get a wipeout on Rainmaker, typically you're able to kind of push all the way towards that checkpoint. Neither side has really been able to make progress on the left side, which is a very common checkpoint to really go from, but it's just been intense fighting so far. Ballistic maybe sees an opportunity here, contested by Birdio though, and that will mean the Rainmaker falls.
Looks like they're going for the pop, and nope, Birdio's not grabbing it yet. Looks like Chloe's grabbing it instead. We'll see if they manage to get it to the checkpoint this time. Oh, looks like not quite there. Oh.
There you have the Rainmaker shield getting the better of the Paintbrush. And now with a minute left, a potential open lane for Seadrive to move towards this checkpoint. There's not a lot of players from Amethyst Blizzard there to contest, but with that little bit of delay coming out from the edit, Darkroot is able to get into a little bit of position to kind of poke from this left side. Birdio able to try to contest the checkpoint, but this Paintbrush has been a major problem for Amethyst Blizzard to move forward. Chloe, though, from out of the thin air, just able to get in just quick enough time to secure the checkpoint pop. Still a very slim lead in favor of Seadrive, but could spiral out of control. You see a lot of orange ink in front of them, but Amethyst Blizzard still holding firm, trying to live to fight another day, as that is, I believe, the third wipeout they've been able to force, but the main problem has been working up mid. 10 seconds left, overtime for Rainmaker. This is exactly the situation Seadrive wants.
Yeah, 5 seconds left on the clock, but that doesn't mean the game's ending that quick. We'll see if Amethyst is able to push and get that down to the checkpoint. Oh, cracking on the bubbler is never a good sign.
You see this Kraken chasing away Ballistic, who is the last player standing, and this is exactly why Seadrive, this is why I mentioned Seadrive wants to be in this situation. Overtime Rainmaker is such a difficult position to really push from, because all it takes is one failed push. All it takes is a stray bomb here and there, and the Rainmaker is taken out. And really, it was just a collection of all those things. Seadrive just constantly applied that pressure, able to take out the 3 team members, and then a Reef Slider to clean up the Rainmaker carrier. So with that, Seadrive takes a very clean 2-0, but a tightly contested one, despite the scoreboard.
Yes, very much so. We'll see if Seadrive will continue their streak, or this will be Amethyst's bounce back.
Yes, for sure. But I mean, with Seadrive winning that series, it will be up to it will just be up to the next rounds to see if Amethyst Blizzard can maybe salvage some things, maybe at least secure a silver bracket with that loss. Seadrive looking very, very promising here, and definitely showing us why they placed 5th in that previous FTAU, just flexing their muscles with that previous experience. But with that being said, I believe we'll be taking a very short break before we move on to round 2 of groups, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the continuation of FTAU Week 87.
Rewind to before I changed, started acting strange, had my life in my own hand. Meanwhile, I was wasting time, thinking things were fine, but you had other plans. Behind your weak disguise, all the worthless lies, I was wrong and now I know. Don't think that I won't try, this is not goodbye.
Quick break, quick turnaround. We are back for round 2 of groups, this time looking at Group E. And we're still here, taking a look at the team names. We have Div 12 versus, I can't believe I have to say this team name, Freaky 67 Warning.
Yeah, it's quite a name. I've realized that we were doing 3 rounds instead of 5 rounds, so I apologize that I tripped up in the first frame. But we're ready to go now. We're excited to see what these teams do. We're not so enthused about Freaky 67 Warning's name, but that's irrelevant.
Yes. Yoshigod, who we are familiar with here on the Pressure staff, I know what you are. Why have you done this to us? But regardless, a little bit between both these sides in terms of how they're doing so far in this tournament. Let's take a quick look over at Group E. So far, Freaky 6-7 Warning, who will now be referred to just as 6-7, lost their first matchup, so they are looking very, very dangerous here in terms of trying to make it back into a bracket. They are listed as the 4th team in their group, down 0-1, but on the other side, Div 12, they won their first against the Seed 5 Sparkling Jellies, which is very, very impressive, pulling off that upset in a 2-1 fashion.
That's crazy. Yeah, we'll see how it goes for 67 and whether they can pull it back. Like I said, it's not over till it's over, and it's not over yet.
Absolutely, but kicking things off here, we'll be taking a look at our first map. And what is that? It is Rainmaker Museum. Any thoughts on this map mode in particular?
Rainmaker on this one's definitely tricky, because making that jump from the spinning platform to the other side doesn't always go the way you want it to. But if you can pull it off, you can get some good points in your hands.
Absolutely. Points go very fast in Rainmaker, and I'm sure we're probably not going to be expecting what we saw in that sort of a stalemate. I mean, who knows? It could happen here, but on a map, where after the first checkpoint, those points will come at a premium. It's gonna really be up to who's able to get that second or two of a free lane, really to move in, try to get those points here and there, because it can get really brutal after the first checkpoint. But usually, the checkpoint is a given when you're able to get a 3-player down situation, just because of the close proximity of it in mid.
And we've definitely got those two areas on the sides with the dropping back down into mid. We'll see if anything interesting happens there. I know I've definitely been caught by some bombs at the bottom a couple times.
Absolutely. So as these teams kind of ready up, kind of prepare things here in terms of what we might expect to see in terms of weapons. You spoke earlier about playing dualies. And dualies, of course, has that flexibility with Crab, and I'm sure Crab is a really good special in terms of being able to kind of poke out mid.
Yeah, definitely. That range is definitely good to have. Dualies aren't, I mean, they're not the most short range weapons in this game, but they don't have a lot compared to some of the other shooters. So that Crab, especially with the cannon, definitely good for getting some hits from further away. We'll see if, I don't know if they're playing dualies, we'll have to see, but maybe it'll come into play here.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing as well is there's a lot of weapons that have Bubble as its special, specifically Decav and Roller being the first two that come to mind, maybe Junior as well. Bubble is a very good special for Rainmaker in particular, but also this map, just because of how contested the choke points are when pushing the Rainmaker forward. Obviously, the only two paths that you can reasonably take are just going up that ramp, which is going to be the most common way, or just jumping straight from mid onto the opponent's spinner. So it's really, it's going to be really vital for these teams to get their specials up, and what is a special that is able to protect the Rainmaker in doing so while getting that space? Well, it's the Bubble.
Yeah, and with Bubble too, I don't see it come up a whole lot, but your Bubble can absolutely be used against you by your opponent. I've seen people go down to a stray suction bomb right outside the Bubble. That instant explosion is definitely something your opponents can take advantage of.
Yes, but kicking us off here between these both sides. Interesting weapon choice, I believe, on the side of 6-7. We will have Tenebella coming out, but it's the new kit Tenebella that we barely, if ever, see at all with Toxic Mist and Super Chumps. But off-rip Div 12 with that initial pick off will get control of this pink minute. We will see a little bit of a disconnect here, so run that one back.
Yeah, we'll give it another try. Yeah, the poor Tenebella players, I know they were hoping for Autobomb, but alas, no tent Autobomb yet.
Yeah, it is going to be... I don't know what to think of the new Tenebella kit, just because of how little we've seen it, just because of... Yes, Tenebella players crying, particularly Shadow. If you've seen that clip, you know. Apologies, but I mean, I can kind of see it just in that support role. You really lean into the utility of the Tenebella with Toxic Mist and with the Chumps. It really gives you that opportunity to just create so much space with all those things.
Yeah, definitely, and there's certainly not any bad weapons in this game. I wouldn't, if you, where are the words I'm looking for? I'd like to see them cook with the Tenebella, is where I'm going.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that as well. Just like embrace chaos. That's just been my mantra every time I see something that doesn't really make sense to the common eye or the supposed meta of 3. I just love to see their some unique weapons, some weapons we don't see often, just kind of get their light. And hey, more often than not, I see it work wonders, and probably more than it should. So I'm all here for it. But just in terms of the dynamic of Tenebella in general, it can be really good for pushing up that very narrow ramp I was referencing earlier.
Oh, absolutely. That big shield and certainly the killing power. We'll see if that comes into heavy play here. I hope it does.
Absolutely, both these so it's just kind of taking a moment. But moving over to what Div 12 was running, I believe we saw a pen and a decav in their own right. I was mentioning how powerful Bubble can be just in creating that space. But pen, very common staple for competitive in general, but very strong in terms of this map just because of the long sniper way in mid. Just so many different places to really shoot out from the safety of your own spinner if you're on that pen.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of shifted out of the meta these days, but that doesn't mean it's not good. And I hope we see another highly contested battle here. It's been very exciting so far. Would love to see a pen and a 10 and go against each other and see how that goes.
Yep, so just taking a moment to hopefully get these teams situated, time to get these things going. Just taking a quick outlook at the rest of the groups, just kind of seeing how everything is being situated. In Group A, our number 1 seed, which is a very wonderful team named Applebee's, is currently down 0-1 to Soliquary. I can't speak. Of the Stars, excuse me. There, so definitely.
I think it's Soliloquy.
Soliloquy.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I can't speak. Soliloquy of Stars there, so definitely something to keep your eye on. But now, with enough being said, hopefully we'll be getting into Game 1 of this Group E matchup.
Crossing our fingers for no more disconnects. Fingers and tentacles.
Absolutely. And you see here the comps very, of course, the same. And something that I failed to notice on our previous look at these two sides is you see the Horns Dread as so talking about all those specials present.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out at the end, so I didn't hear your exact comment on the Dread, but oh, there. That's the Susie Dreadringer, I believe. Definitely. Oh, we're definitely getting some picks off here. Rare's going for the checkpoint. Oh, they got slashed by that decav from Triant, I believe. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yes, but you do see 6-7 managing to find a opening path. Good score here. And just in the blink of an eye, Div 12 was caught sleeping. Not any player contesting the Rainmaker, and that's just the nature of Rainmaker sometimes. All it takes is somebody not looking, just find a golden opportunity, and there you go. I mean, Yoshiga even commented here in our stream chat that they would knock out on, but I mean, they kept their word.
Yeah, good team, but we're still not sold on the name. But if they can get all 3 wins, I'll say it in full again, or all 2 wins, I suppose.
Yes, but I mean, just strong showing from beginning to end. I mean, I didn't even have an opportunity to kind of analyze much past that. Just 6-7 was able to move in with just that speed. You had the decav moving in, creating all that space to move forward, and just that's unfortunate for Div 12 to just not find the opportunity to kind of shut down that push, because that's just sometimes all it takes to win in this game. Not necessarily from a mechanics point of view, but just having that speed and yet again just seeing the opportunity in front of you to pave the way forward is absolutely just the strength that we saw from 6-7. But now let's move over to our second game, which is Scourge Clams.
Ooh, our first clam blitz. Scorchforge, definitely an interesting map for clams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see a little bit more flexing of those bubbles that I was talking about for Div 12. Of course, now being down 0-1 in this, you have to kind of bounce back, shake that one off, shake that loss off to see if you can put up a fight to find that equalizer for Div 12, because I do love their comp a lot. However, we saw just pretty much laid out right before our eyes the entirety of the game plan for 6-7, really just being able to take that elbow control really quickly and move in to get that Rainmaker cap. Similar story could be here for Scourge, as this is another strong Tenebrella map.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if they have that same push and power that they had with the Rainmaker with the clams, or if Div 12 will be able to push back this time.
Absolutely. Absolutely, but enough said. Let's just jump straight into it to see if we could see a little bit of a bounce back from Div 12, or will 6-7 secure this one just off of the backs of a very strong map one. We'll just have to wait and see, as we'll see a very similar comp, if not the same comp, coming out from 6-7. And on the other side, a little bit of differences. We do have two weapon switches. You have Snow Rapid for that cooler being switched out, and another cooler weapon, the Red Dapple. The Dapple time.
I'm excited to see how the Dapples play. I feel like I rarely see them in competitive, particularly the red ones. I know the blue ones are kind of making an uprising. Oh, they're getting up to the basket, but they don't have any power clams yet. We'll see if they can hang around long enough to get a score. Definitely looks like they're doing some pushing. Oh, 3 down on 67. Might be their chance, and yeah. Looks like Div 12 is getting the push on them.
The jumps as well, both being camps, will lead to the wipeout in favor of Div 12 here. They just continue to try to move forward. That push could have looked very, very dangerous, but now being able to recover off of the back of that, they are rewarded with that pity clamp. With control of mid as well, they could set up really nicely for this push into mid, but you do have hacks on this Octobrush causing a lot of damage there. They are taken out by a crab though. So we will see just a back and forth between both sides, as it does look like Div 12 be pushed forward back towards their basket.
Definitely, they're getting in there, but they're not quite at a power clam. We'll see if they can. Well, looks like we're getting some picks from both teams. We'll have to see if they can get over to that basket and score. It is still relatively early, so it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, you have Rare in control of that ball on the side of 6-7, but they are cut down by transfer. They just find as well, just moving forward with that decap. Bubble is almost available, and there is the super clan being formed. 2 players down on Div 12 side, however, so this push will not quite have the manpower here. Being slowed down ever so desperately. You have Yoshi managing to get the pick on with that Tenebrilla as well, and 3 down in total for 6-7 though. They're the last player standing, and that is a delayed wipeout now. With no players standing up, this push is going to hurt for 6-7, as you have so many members of Div 12 with clans, as well as Nicholas getting the pick onto Rare.
Oh, for sure, especially with the Dread under the ledge like that. We'll see if they can get any more clams in the basket. Looks like they're not going to yet. We'll see if it'll be on them again, or if Freaky 6-7 will get back in the game.
Yoshi being the spearhead of 6-7, kind of acting as a mobile bubble as you would with Div 7, or Div 12, excuse me, moving forward with their own. You have the jumps coming in, very though that you have the Kev camping them. Very nicely snuffed out by Div 12 to completely stop that push before it even got started. Now without a super clan in the possession of 6-7, you have Div 12 moving forward with all this space, and have them just getting these trades out. 2 players now, 3 in total fall though from Div 12 as 6-7 will move back into mid, but so far both sides are trying to trade blows, but the lead is still in the favor of Div 12.
Yeah, I see that decap a lot going around like that. There is certainly a reason that decapitator is a pun on decapitator.
With this crab, just a wonderful spot to put it on, giving Div 12 so much space to work with, but they run into bombs just left of the decap on the side of Div 12, who will try to jump out with that ball. Really nicely done to heads up approach, just to keep some ammo in their back pocket, but you do have to worry about this push coming in. The ball is dropped, that decap is slain, and 4 players. The wipeout is claimed by Div 12 yet again, just being the stone wall towards their basket, not allowing 6-7 to move in despite being several players down. Div 12 holds firm, and now they are threatening their own push. With this counter push, you have 2 balls already in the possession of Div 12, that pity to boot as well as forward with this 1 player advantage. However, you're not in any pressure to really move in because you have that lead, but 22 claims to your name.
Yeah, for sure. I just see the little dots on the map of all the power clams running back and forth. Looks like Rare is over here trying to get some ink, but oh, they got, like I said, with the bombs on the bubbler, you have to be careful because your opponent can use your bubbler against you, and it looks like that's what we saw then. Looks like Tiny's or Tiny, I don't know, trying to move in with the power clam, but they are not getting it yet. Hax is coming in with the brush, getting ink all over. We'll see if either team will score or if it will remain the way it is. We got a couple power clams on the map, so we'll have to see if they can get them to the baskets.
Moving in with this special, just moving in, trying to see if they can create any space, but a quick wipeout before the push can even get going. What 6-7 was doing there, just in terms of being able to create all that space and moving into the elbow, but during this entirety of the match, it just didn't seem like they had enough to really punch through and get a good push going, as we saw Div 12 just kind of hunker down on their elbow and constantly push back the attempted attacks onto their basket. So with that, Div 12 will even things out after our shaky game 1.
For sure, our first time stream. We'll have to see what happens now. What do we've got up next in terms of maps and modes?
I mean, before we even get to that, though, I just want to talk about just like the constant back and forth that we saw. It is tough to, as a team, just bounce back after what we saw was a very disheartening game 1 coming out from both these sides, as you saw 6-7 just kind of charge in. But this time, it was a completely different story of Div 12 constantly stopping them. You had the trades coming in, the decab duel that we saw, and the adjustments, most importantly, from Div 12 that we saw being taked. That double cooler comp meant they were able to make more mistakes, or have at least the peace of mind of knowing that if they made mistakes, they wouldn't be as harshly punished as 6-7, as I believe they weren't running a cooler weapon. So just being available more often, being able to respawn and get into the fight faster was just really was the tipping point for Div 12 to take that one.
Yeah, always interesting to see what teams do in terms of the tactical, or it's certainly powerful, but how much power you're trying to get out of it if you're going with 2-1-0. I haven't seen any teams with 3 tacticoolers, I don't think, but
Yeah, I mean, having 3 tacticoolers would be insane levels of just like, that is the green light to constantly be fighting every single time. But with us moving to map 3, we'll be looking at Splatoon's Umami as our decider game.
Ooh, exciting. Umami, I think this is our first split zones map of the stream. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and with Umami being a split zones map, it really leans more towards into the tug rope. I mean, split zones in general is a lot more of a tug rope type mode, sometimes with just both sides firing onto one zone, but with it being 2 zones, it's going to be a lot more difficult as well, just trying to find that balance. Of course, you have to control both the sides if you are to score points, so it's going to be up to how these teams are going to deploy their players in just moving into either side. We will see the return of the same from 6-7, and on the other side, an actual return to what we saw in that game 1 remake, that red and that pen coming out, as well as the blue dapples instead of the red.
Yeah, they're both going into mid. Looks like they're both going for that left zone first. I don't see any ink on the right one, but we've got already 2 picks off of 3 picks. Looks like 6-7 is kind of just ramming in there, taking over the map.
Yeah, and you saw all 4 of those members shove the left zone all in quick succession. Just the overwhelming might of them caused that delayed wipeout. Here they are, causing a ruckus. Hack moving in with the Zipcaster, trying to see if they can cause any form of distraction here, but Div 12 have found a bit of an opening to get back control of, stop the bleeding temporarily. The Dapples gets that trade, but it's just an absolute slaughterfest in mid, as 6-7 still remains firm, trying to clean up these remaining players.
Yeah, it's already certainly a hectic game. We've got 6-7 in the lead, but Div 12 is certainly pushing back. There's no shortage of their ink in mid. Well, I guess there is now, but it's not as if they're not pushing. They're in there. There's definitely got some fighting from both teams. So 6-7 looks like they're gonna hold it a little bit longer.
Slider is stay up hold for Nicholas as well to try to contest this for Div 12. The Reef Slider, though, is very nicely canceled out by Rare on that pro, completely denying Div 12 from maybe getting an advantage point in here, but eventually the jump in will come in. The second attempt on the Reef Slider will hit true, but the picks aren't quite going into the favor of Div 12 as 6-7 yet again fighting together as a team, constantly moving in as a unit to control the zones has been what has been the winning formula for this game, as yet to score is Div 12 and 6-7 are dangerously close to that knockout.
Yeah, I see 3 of them down now, but so it looks like 12 is moving in. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, Triant in there with the decav, getting a hit on the super jump, and the Reef Slider coming in just as a little extra egg. Looks like we've got a pretty good showing from 67, but Div 12 is back in the game with some points on the map, and we'll see if they can hold it long enough to get the lead.
Yeah, did you see this Octobrush and Decaf fighting together, though? That's just been the winning formula. 3 players in total. This is the opportunity that you want for Div 12 to try to move in to contest the zone, but you have Rare at least buying the time necessary to give 6-7 some time to roll back into mid. You see the benefit of it here. The Octobrush already back into position, but they are found out. Hax does fall, and this is the greatest opportunity that we've Div 12 so far during this entire game to contest the zones. 3 players down, and I believe that is a delayed wipeout in Polvix. Finally, with basically 3 minutes gone in the match, Div 12 are back in business and finally picking away at their points.
Yep, and the Reef Slider goes by. Oh, wow. Yeah, they've really... It was a slow start for them with this match, but they are really kicking back in with that wipeout.
Absolutely, points continuing to tick down, and we could see a great opportunity for Div 12 to take this one back, especially since you have 2 players down, falling 4-6-7, just left to Rare now as the jump being camped leaves them very much staggered. Div 12 have been really nice at taking this one back, just based on how resilient they are to bend but not break. Now, though, the pressure on 6-7 to try to contest is just left to their decav, and that is the lead change. This deep into the match, just one last opportunity for 6-7 to maybe contest something, but time is running out. You see 3 players spawn, but will there be enough paint to at least contest one of these sides? The pen goes down early. You see Rare and Yoshi contesting this left side, but the picks go into the favor of Div 12, who take a 2-1 set over Freaky 6-7 Warning.
Yes, very impressive games on all 3 fronts. I believe it was 67 that won the first game, correct? A very impressive comeback from Div 12, especially there at the end.
Absolutely. I mean, just the resilience that we saw from Div 12. You saw it was all 6-7 so far, just like constantly rolling and rolling, and they just constantly kept Div 12 in that elbow area, but eventually something gave, and once Div 12 got control of the zone, they never gave it back. They just built up a fort, completely moving, completely holding down the entirety of that area and never gave it back. And that's just the benefit of how, and that just really shows and illustrates how much staggers can hurt a team. And we saw constantly, time and time again, members of 6-7 moving in and going 1 or 2 players down, and it allowed Div 12 to constantly have the necessary response to stop them. And all in all, it led to that last second desperation play from 6-7 to maybe contest the zone, but it just wasn't enough. So congratulations to Div 12 for taking that one, who are now 2-0 in their sets. Really nicely done.
Yes, congratulations to Div 12, but certainly also congratulations to 67 for that very impressive contesting of Div 12. I will not be saying their full name again since they did not win the set. I give my good job to them for very impressive games.
The bad team is gone. The bad man's is gone in terms of team names. Still love you though, Yoshigod, but dear God, that was a really, really bad team name, I will say. But anyways, lightheartedness aside, we will be fast flowing into round 3, excuse me. We'll be now shifting over to Group C. We'll be looking at Sealock versus Polaris Ruins.
Now this will be confusing. Well, yeah, we don't even know Oh, are we doing tower control next? Is that correct?
Yes. Our first game will be TC Hagglefish Market, which is a very common map in terms of it being seen in zones, but with tower, it can prove to have some very interesting interactions, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. I'm particularly expecting to see some chargers and splatlings up in those tents. Those are definitely good at poking at your enemies with. I know I've been taken down by quite a few players on top of those tents just because it's so hard to get up there or to hit them from the ground.
Yeah, not only that, just the trajectory in which the tower moves. Typically, very commonly seen, the choke points for tower control maps are usually on the second checkpoints. And where is that second checkpoint? It's right up against that elbow area where you are pretty much leveled with the defending team. So this map has a lot of those areas that have heavily contested vantage points for the defenders to just fire ink upon you. Kind of like what you were just mentioning with Splatlings.
Yeah, for sure. That second checkpoint is definitely going to be hard point to defend the tower from. We'll see how well these teams can pull it off if they can get to that checkpoint.
Yes, for sure, but we're just waiting to see what we will have in store for us in terms of both these sides, in terms of what we see with their group standings. C-Lock is currently 2-0 in their groups so far, so if they win this one, they secure gold bracket. Strictly Splatonic is the only other team to contest them, being 2-1. So if C-Lock gets this win, they will secure gold bracket. If not, it will come down to tiebreakers to see if they will particularly move on to gold bracket, but that is just the importance there for C-Lock. But on the other side, for Polaris Runes, they're also in the mix, just trying to see if they can somehow sneak their way there as well. With a victory over C-Lock, they will have the 2-1 record, and it will be a 3-way tiebreak bracket, which is going to be very interesting.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be very exciting if we get to that point, but we won't know until we see how these teams play. Looks like we do have Pencil back. Double dualies on one of these teams. Haven't seen a whole lot of that. I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yes, and it is CeeLo Q, versus Polaris Runes. You have CeeLo Q there with that weapon combo. Psycho Umbrella is not a weapon we see fairly commonly, but the thing I want to point out that is very interesting for Polaris Runes, no backline and double dually, so they are playing very aggressively in terms of their weapon comp.
Definitely not what I would have expected on this map, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be successful. We'll have to see how it goes, considering neither team has gotten on the tower. And as I say that, the teams are starting to get on the tower. Looks like C-Lock is pushing first. It's hard. Hold on, not C-Lock. Polaris Runes. They are on the tower with a crab. That's good, especially around the second checkpoint where the other team is going to be right there.
This checkpoint's usually a given. If you win that team fight, you have quick managing to find one just on this decap, trying to slow the bleeding if you speak. But now with Polaris Runes making it towards that second checkpoint, this is the choke earlier that way, completely denying any presence. 2 players down in total for Polaris Runes, and now CeeLo Q will move in with control of the tower. But overall, a very good initial push from Polaris.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't help but notice that the 2 left on the map were the dualies, and especially with the dapples, those guys can be hard to catch. Oh, yeah, but as I say that, they're both going down. And it looks like, yeah, we got a couple picks. Ooh, yeah, double picks from that Zuka. And that's gonna be their opportunity, maybe, to get the tower? Maybe? Yes, I think so.
Potentially, yeah, and with 2 players down yet again for Polaris Runes, continuing to stagger them is CeeLo Q, constantly finding the opportunities to move forward, but yet again, at the second checkpoint, being stopped. This bubble could potentially provide something, but with the decap being snuffed out, it will be no longer a threat, as a very slim 1-point lead will be held by nicely done to stop that push and still have that lead, but I mean, that second checkpoint is going to be the end-all be-all decider for both these sides. Who is able to kind of get past that area, and so far, Polar's Ruins are looking very nice to break through it with that 3-player down caused by the overwhelming presence they have just with their risk comp.
Oh, for sure. And with this being our third kind of like a 3-point difference between the teams, just shows how well these teams can play. And I think when there is such a small difference between the points, that really incentivizes them to try to push and get in there.
At the very least, denying Polar's Ruins from getting that checkpoint. Kilo Q still in this. Zuka is available for the shot on the side of Polar's Ruins, just trying to find an opportunity to use it here. 2 minutes left into the match, so we're under halfway, but sides still have had their opportunities to kind of trade blows with each other. If you're on the side of Polar's Ruins, you're still sitting very pretty here just on this right side with the shot. Oblivion managing to find 2 there could potentially turn things around for Polar's, finding an opportunity to continue causing the pressure onto CeeLo Q, just preventing them from getting anything going. That Reef Slider coming in as well, and 2 very nicely done as we see the blue Dapple just kind of beat Spearhead for Polar's Ruins.
Yeah, and I don't see the other team coming around here on this choke point, so they may have a clear path to, if not to the finish, then almost all the way there, and that'll be if CeeLo Q can bring it back from there, that'll be very impressive. But it looks like they are pushing, and that will be the game for Polaris Ruins.
Yeah, who are looking very, very strong in this game. I mean, we saw initially the back and forth where Polaris Ruins was able to push in, CeeLo Q responding in, but I mean, afterwards, it was all Polaris Ruins just constantly holding that control in mid, just playing the game to how they want. Being able to control the flow and play to your pace is really how teams roll of a game, and we just saw it written all out there from Polaris Ruins, but specifically with that opening they were able to get, with that shot finding 2 on right side, it really opened the door for the team to in.
Yeah, and we were surprised to see him with no backlines, but hey, it looks like it worked out well for them. They have that fighting power, even if it's not from so far back. And that was really what saved them at the end when they were pushing into the base.
Absolutely, and as we move now to game number 2, we'll be looking at Splat Zone. So this brings up an entirely different environment. So with CeeLo Q with a more balanced team comp and Polaris with that very aggressive comp in terms of the double dapples, it does bring up that question yet again, can Polaris in with those double dabble shot and Red just being that hyper aggressive team to not only take the space in a quick amount of time, but close the difference, to close the distance, excuse me, between their weapons. That's going to be the real decider in this game, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Especially on Barnacle. Oh, it looks like we're getting into the match. We'll see if they've stuck with the double dapples. I hope they do. Oh, yes, it looks like they are hanging onto the double dapples. I don't think the splash was in the first game. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, no, the splash was not there, so we will see Fern switching over to the splash, which I do like the choice of here, just on Barnacle and Dot. Have so much space to contest, and splash is the support shot for many team comps to really go with. And you see Reef Sliders kind of being traded from either side to get into control of the zone. Just 10 left from CeeLo Q though, but with that pick, that is a wipeout, and it does look like Polaris Ruins, despite their unusual weapon comp, it is working yet again so far.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what teams choose. I think there's certainly a standardized expectation, but when a team picks something different, like 4 very, very close range fighter weapons, it's always fun to see how they handle it, and they are certainly handling it well.
Absolutely. Still putting the pedal to the metal here. It doesn't look like Polaris Ruins are gonna just give this one up at all. Just constantly moving in, Mal moving in the dapples. The double Reef Slider coming in as well to secure that pick. And this has been all Polaris Ruins so far, as CeeLo Q just finding no opportunity to get into control of the zone. They do have a Reef Slider available if they find the opportunity to, but with 10 ticks left, time is running out. You see that Dread going on this left side. Here comes the Reef Slider to get control of the zone and try to save this one, but the picks are there for Polaris Ruins to secure that game. And with a 2-0 sweep over CeeLo Q, I believe that now puts them into the mix for bracket. I don't know the exact tiebreaker for this, but I believe now it is going to be a 3-way tiebreak to determine this bracket. But overall, a very dominant performance from Polaris Ruins, who were the heavy underdogs game.
Oh, definitely. I saw CeeLo Q almost get the zone at the end there, but they couldn't quite make it. Polaris Ruins just had the power to take the zone and keep it. So congratulations to them. Certainly congratulations to both teams.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe the final standings for Group C has kind of rearranged itself. With that loss, Polaris Ruins actually secures third place in their group. But the more important thing to note, because of that loss, CeeLo Q will fall to silver bracket, as Strictly Splatonic will be the one with the tiebreaker to take that group. So they'll be the ones representing Group C in gold brackets. So really nicely done from Polaris Ruins to kind of play spoiler there. I'm sure Strictly Splatonic are happy with that, with the result of that one. So we just have to wait and see how the rest of this tournament will play out. But we won't be there for that, as we'll now be switching commentators. But of course, as common with these comment swaps, before we go, Polaris, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
Hello, I'm on Blue Sky. I don't use Twitter anymore because I don't trust Twitter, but I'm on Blue Sky. It's Polaris Bees. I'm a little bit more active on YouTube, where I will be Polaris and the Bees. So it's Polaris Bees on Blue Sky, Polaris and the Bees on YouTube. I'm also on Twitch as Bionix. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of names. I've got a lot of names and a lot of hats. But yeah, if you'd like to come check me out, love to have you. I mostly do art. This is my first time commentating. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much to Rocket for kind of carrying me along, and I'll let them say where to find them.
Nah, you did wonderful, and yeah, commentating is very, very hard, and you did great for your first time. But like you mentioned, you'll find me at Rocket1 on Blue Sky. You can find me at Rocket_Splat on Twitch. But that's enough about me. We'll be taking a break right before bracket, but don't go anywhere for the remainder of FTIU number 87. Topic and Jorian will take it away for the continuation of this tournament and gold bracket. So we'll see you then.
Change, we shed our skin until we're almost human.
Welcome back, everyone, to FTIU from the Ink Up number 87 with our gold bracket. This time, I am Topic, joined by the wonderful streamer man himself, Jorian. And for round one today, we have Strictly Splatonic versus Vector Cry. And Jorian, how you doing?
I'm surprised I'm here, honestly. It's like out of pure whim, I just got here and I'm just free. So now we're here. And oh my god, wow. Look at that. Vector Cry is strictly Splatonic. That especially Splatonic is a kind of new team that's been, well, it's a pickup, obviously. It looks like a pickup because look at all the different tags, but Vector Cry, that's the name that Topic you should know from a long time because they've been playing ever since like 2022, 2023.
I can say I do recognize the name. It does seem familiar, but like it's that little like back of my head type of thing where it's like, huh, that's familiar. Anyways.
Yeah, but searching Platonic, they are a pretty new team most likely. The slash P is the tag, but like if you look at J, that's a +1 right there. They're mostly friends with each other, but. Now, I think it's a good time that we can go to the maps.
Number one, Mako Mart on tower control. I think everyone, for the most part, knows that that second checkpoint is going to be the hardest one to get, but never mind. Both these teams are raring and ready to go. Vector Cry going very interesting with the sticker Splatana with the Booyah Bomb on the side of Strictly Splatonic, the Carbon Deco, you know, a weapon that is still very, very good, but has been not seen as often as, back a couple patches ago.
Yeah, especially for Platonic though, they having the common roller, that's gonna be pretty interesting with the Viper duo. Honestly, like looking at it all together for Platonic, they have a comp that is all just running in. While for Vector Cry, they have a more balanced comp actually with the single tamper, like you said, not being seen as much, but now seen together because of tower control with the Booyah that came out right now. Now with the Blaster also still staying alive, having a ball for the next checkpoint is gonna be pretty good, but they're just playing all aggro and they're still staying alive with that, getting the Blaster kill by out of range.
Yeah, playing really aggro with the splashdown to kind of put some extra emphasis on
my
that.
God.
Stormy getting one, getting two, getting a lot of space for Vector Cry. As we see, they're able to very quickly and easily get through those first two checkpoints, especially that big choke point there.
Oh my
Turtle
God.
with the Booyah Bomb on themselves, able to get back. Leggy's gonna get one, try to stall this tower for as long as they can, but Vector Cry just doing what they can. They get past the checkpoint. They're going in for the Armison Tower. They're
Oh
gonna
my
go
God.
down. The jumps are coming in, splashdowns coming in, and just like that, Vector Cry, a very, very quick 100-0 in a very dominant way to start this game. Or start
just
this
need-
set.
I just need to be clear. This is for Div 7 cap, right, Topic?
Consult the TOs, but yes, I think it is.
Okay.
I'm at least like 94% sure.
Okay, so because in the fight thing for Vectify, like just going back to say about all of our memory, well, me and your memory at least, that Vectify has been playing since 2022, 2023. This is why Vectify is kind of like showing why they're just so well like this. Because they're so used to it right now, because they've been playing for the longest time. They've been fighting against like so many alpha bracket teams, Bravo bracket bracket teams on low ink, that they know how to play this map, and them having so much energy and so much hold, and literally just the blaster player, and also just wow, it's just the blaster player just playing so well. They know how to play aggro against any hyperdrive comp like that, so that's why they were just able to KO it. Now we're going to a little bit of a more staggered mode. Blast zones.
Yes, Splat Zones, Hagglefish. I think my feelings are very well known about this map. It is your vanilla ice cream, your salt and pepper, your mashed potatoes. You're just butter as something to cook with. It's just very bland, very basic, but it's good for, kind of figuring out what the other teams has to do. But for game number 2, we see both these teams sticking with what they got. They like what they saw game number 1. They're sticking to it because why not? They're here in gold bracket looking to see if they can or strictly Splatonic, seeing if they can, maybe slow the game down, because game number 1 was very, very aggressive, very, very like in your face, because it was tower control. Maybe this will be give them the chance to, like, slow the game down a little bit and play at their pace.
But I just say that Artemis is going to be immediately trying to go for a white snake. At the same time, 2 is going down from both sides actually. We see a lot of action on the right side. We see almost a jump scare kill from the Splatana Stamper, always going to the right, to the Blaster. But
Ooh.
Blaster does win that, so that's really huge right there. Coley on the end, actually gonna get killed by Stormy again.
Stormy just staying alive. That's very, very important. The hammer throw not quite able to cancel the splashdown, and just like that, from staying alive and just getting a couple picks, Vector Car was able to very, very quickly and efficiently get back in control. And you see a very dangerous spot for Stormy right here under this tent. If Strictly Platonic just drops haphazardly, they will get picked off. As right now, Vector Cry able to very quickly and easily get the lead here, maybe go for even further.
Yeah, as you see right now, but Armin's almost going to go for the hammer. As he do, they actually get shut down immediately by Fire, who's playing on the other end. The Zook coming out from Leggy as well. Almost capturing the zone, but not getting that 50%. And with 2 down actually because of, again, that was mostly the blaster from Stormy, getting the last 2 as well with the help of Turtle. They're going to be holding on to the zone for Vector Cry, and they're just still going at it. They're playing more aggressive into the base of Hagovich, which is the really smart move if they just want to hold control.
Is taking over that ramp there. If you get that, it makes it very, very hard and difficult for teams to get in. Vector Cry still going, 10 ticks remaining. The hammer's gonna come out, splashdown coming out, but it's not gonna do a whole lot of wipe out on Strictly Splatonic, and that will be all she wrote. And Vector Cry, a very, very quick 2-0 and a very, very quick set win. Very dominant, honestly. Like, once they got control of the zone, they never looked back.
Literally, it's all because, like, there was a little bit of a missteps though. Vector Cry was able to lose his own as much times as Platonic was able to do, but the main thing is Vector Cry was able to get out of it. Like, at the start, it always looked like that Strictly Platonic was able to just hold on to some momentum. But then after that, just Vector Cry, once they were able to get some kind of hold, they were able to just get wipeouts. The main thing is too, the range that Vector Cry had, like Stormy, and also at the same time too, there was also the, the Cycler Stamper player, they were just comboing so well together that they were just able to lock out every single time and just hold position at the zone.
Yeah, just very, very good. Just like locking out, like you said, that combo with the Stamper, with the Blaster, getting some chip damage, and just finishing it off very, very good from both sides. But very, very nice. Unfortunately for Strictly Platonic, that will be it for your tourney run. But don't be too upset. You did make it to not bronze, to gold bracket.
Bronze?
To gold bracket at FTIU. But with that, that'll be it for round number 1. But don't go anywhere, because after a very, very quick break, we'll be back for semifinals in a few minutes.
Dreams are falling down. Pick up our pieces that we found and build ourselves back again. As I try to let you in, we will be empty from within. The seasons change, we shed our skin.
She was upset. My husband always praised her behavior with jealousy because she never had helped her with anything. After that tantrum, she skipped our wedding, baby shower, our children's birthday party, and other family events that we attended. I was fine with extending invitations because I knew she wasn't going to show up. She had some sort of mental breakdown and was in and out treatment for years. I wish nothing but the best for her, and I don't know what kind of issues she's going through, but I don't want her disrupting my peace. I'm currently pregnant, and my baby shower is at the end of this month. I'm having it a few months early because I'm just for going into labor. But I did my husband. My mother-in-law told the artist who stated Tina would be riding with us if we were a city. She brought a new boyfriend. I was surprised because we hadn't seen her in years, but I was apprehensive to agree. Eventually, I did agree and hope that she was on whatever caused her so much distress when she was around my family. Well, it took all of 24 hours for her to start her nonsense. She texted my husband paragraphs at 3 a.m. telling him how she felt about our family. First, she went on to say how much she missed them being close and how I came in and destroyed their close relationship, when I barely said 50 words to her in 9 years. She asked him if he was happy with his life because, again, he used to say he never wanted kids or to get married. She then asked if he thought about her all this time and if he could meet up with him before the shower and talk alone, face to face. That was the last straw for me. I asked my husband if he knew she was in love with him, and he just shrugged in. Said he didn't doubt my theory. Apparently, when she was 11, she asked if they could cuddle and kiss, and he said no. He admits her behavior since then has always been weird and dramatic, but he didn't pay her much attention because there were many siblings and they all hung out all the time. I asked him if he could uninvite her and this new boyfriend because I think she's going to bring drama to our baby shower. He said he wants to talk to his parents first to see what kind of state she's been in, but I know in my gut that she's ready to ruin our day with her theatrics. So am I the a-hole for wanting to uninvite her to the baby shower? Am I the a-hole if I uninvite my sister-in-law who's in love with my husband? My husband and I met each other at a ski lodge 9 years ago. I was with my young daughter and a female friend and her child. My husband was with his 2 brothers and 3 sisters and a few friends. There was a singing competition and both of us were set up by our friends to enter. Sparks flew during our duet and the rest is history. This was the first time I caught on to my sister-in-law's disturbing behavior. After the singing competition, he and I went to the cafe to chat. His middle sister, Tina, who was adopted at birth, came storming up to us and demanded we come back to her room. She never looked at me and whined when he shut her down. She ran off crying and apparently took her sister's room key cards and locked them out, so they had to stay with the friends in their room. Fast forward to when we bought a house together. We had a housewarming and invited family and close friends. Tina showed up in an S-side club outfit. She ignored me the entire time and hung all over my husband, boyfriend at the time. She kept recalling tales of them when they were little and how close they were. She'd kiss him on the cheek, hug him, and touched his arm when laughing. He was visibly uncomfortable, so I stepped in. At first, I just thought she had a crush on him, but the way she was acting looked like she was the girlfriend and not me. She was going around reminding/telling everyone that he used to say he never wanted to have kids, but now he's playing daddy to my daughter. One of my friends said she thought Tina was weird for talking about how hot his modeling photos were when he did print work back in college, and that her favorite photo was of them at a beach in Hawaii during a family vacation a few years back. The most bizarre thing she told a few people was that he had never dated a woman of color before, and now all of a sudden he's in love. It's only bizarre to me because she's biracial, so I don't know why this would bother her, unless she's jealous of me because she wished she were me. Then things go south at the end of the night when he gets down on one knee and proposes to me. She started crying and ran to the restroom. Their dad went to check on her and drove her home. I knew exactly why she was upset, but my husband always equated her behavior to jealousy because she never had healthy relationships. After that tantrum, she skipped our wedding, baby shower, our children's birthday parties, and other family events that we attended. I was fine with extending invitations because I knew she wasn't going to show up. She had some sort of mental breakdown and was in and out treatment for years. I wish nothing but the best for her, and I don't know what kind of issues she's going through, but I don't want her disrupting our peace. I'm currently pregnant and our baby shower is at the end of this month. I'm having it a few months early because I'm at risk for going into labor early, like I did with my other two children. My mother-in-law called to RSVP and stated Tina would be riding with them and if it was okay if she brought her new boyfriend. I was surprised because we hadn't seen her in years, but I was apprehensive to agree. Eventually, I did agree and hoped that she resolved whatever caused her so much distress when she was around my family. Well, it took all of 24 hours for her to start her nonsense. She texted my husband paragraphs at 3 a.m. telling him how she felt about our family. First, she went on to say how much she missed them being close and how I came in and destroyed their close relationship, when I barely said 50 words to her in 9 years. She asked him if he was happy with his life because again, he used to say he never wanted kids or to get married. She then asked if he thought about her all this time and if he could meet up with him before the shower and talk alone, face to face. That was the last straw for me. I asked my husband if he knew she was in love with him, and he just shrugged it. Said he didn't doubt my theory. Apparently, when she was 11, she asked if they could cuddle and kiss, and he said no. He admits her behavior since then has always been recent, but he didn't pay any much attention because there were many siblings and they all hung out all the time. I asked him if he could uninvite her and this new boyfriend because I think she's going to bring drama to our baby shower. He said he wants to talk to his parents first to see what kind of state she's been in, but I know in my head that she's ready to go the actress. So am I the a-hole for wanting to uninvite her to the baby shower? Am I the a-hole if I uninvite my sister-in-law who's in love with my husband? My husband and I met each other at State Lodge 9 years ago. I was with my young daughter and female friend as a child. My husband was with his two brothers and three sisters and a few friends. There was a singing competition and both of us were set up by our friends already. Sparks flew during our duet and the rest is history. This was the first time I caught on to my sister-in-law's disturbance. After the singing competition, he and I went to the cafe to chat. His middle sister, Tina, who was adopted at birth, came storming up to us and demanded we come back to her room. She never looked at me and whined when I shut her down. She ran off crying and apparently took her sister's room key cards and locked them out so they had to stay with the friends in their room. Fast forward to when we bought a house together. We had a housewarming and invited family and close friends. Tina showed up in an S-side club outfit. She ignored me the entire time and hung all over my husband, boyfriend at the time. She kept recalling tales of him when we were
If you're unmuted now, welcome back to FTIU 87. Today we have Double Bubble versus Cornerstone. Cornerstone? What the? Wait, it's Corner Store. Okay, hold on a second.
So this is a Minecraft.
It's not Minecraft, but at the same time, it's not Cold Stone ice cream. Do better. Anyways.
God, what?
Well, I just want ice cream, okay? But still, welcome back. Topic, you're here, I am here. Drew more surprisingly here with Double Bubble and Amigos here as well with Gemini, Muck, Kelp Chips, and Mad Hero. While the Corner Store, we have Boo, Dislike, Japanese name, Parasite, and Seahorn, who is a pickup by the way. Still on the semifinals for Gold Bracket.
Yeah, I will say, side note, I love Dennis. That's it. I love Dennis.
Okay, Dennis is the grasshopper as the actual team logo for Corner Store on the bottom right. If no one knows the context, I don't know the context. Explain the meme topic.
There is no meme. It's just Dennis.
Oh, come on, dude. Okay.
There is no. It's literally just Dennis. I don't know what you want me to say, but enough of that. Both these teams have, they made their way to semis, looking to go to finals. But they gotta find out who is the better team. At least who has the better day today. As we go to game number 1, ship-shaped cargo on tower control.
Would Dennis like to be on a tower, or would Dennis like to be a sniper?
I don't know. You have to ask Dennis about it.
Okay, well, Dennis would like to be on tower if they are an edit player, most likely or a pencil player because they'll be running that tower free. But if Dennis likes to be on the corners, they would be most likely to camping like a shot player or 52.
Yes, I also agree. But yeah, we're gonna see as we hop straight into game number 1. Let's see what these teams bring out. Oh, okay. The stickers, the Fro Pro, and I believe that's the new Octobrush as well. On the other side,
Okay.
E-Leader, Brella, and Carbon Deco. Very interesting weapons, especially that Brella, since ever since the change, it has been kind of put in that more supportive role. But this, like, rocking it with the Sorella Brella with the inkjet, maybe a bit more of an aggressive flip to it. But we're gonna see, as both these teams, very interesting comps.
Yeah, honestly, with the interesting cut for sure from Double Bubble with the brush coming out. Amigo actually helping with a 2v1, but actually, unfortunately, the sticker template does go down. But they did still get the kill on the Carbon Boy. But as you see, immediately the Octopus is going to be actually going on the left side and not getting the tower, but trying to go for the kill on the E-Leader.
Yeah, going for kill E-Leader, not quite able to get a whole lot. But you can see Cornerstar going to members
down.
Level in a great position here, trying to get an area around that first checkpoint. Drumar on tower, a couple of members again in that court area, looking to just get space, because once you get past this first checkpoint, that trek toward the second one is very, very long.
Yeah, and are we going to be seeing now to the second checkpoint now? We're going to be seeing 2 down from either side. Once again, Parasite just having great angles on that. Either they're actually aiming to the tower. At the same time too, that's just a trade right there with the Booyah coming up for Gemini as well, going for Boo, but Boo actually does go down. And we're seeing right now just Double Bubble clearing the second checkpoint immediately, trying to go for the last one, but Dislike and Parasite showing just tracks about how much defensive they are.
Doing a really good job of defending. Yes, Double Bubble did get all the way towards the second checkpoint, but they're not breaking just yet. As you see, they still have a lot of time to go. Game's not over until it's over. But you're gonna see Muck there with the Fro Pro, just trying to stay alive, getting one, looking for even more, just dancing around the tower. They're gonna go down to the Splatana Stamper, and that will be the official end of that push. But now, if you're Corner Store, you have a long way to go. You have to basically get towards the second checkpoint and break it if you want the lead here.
Yeah, but the thing is right now, like comparing to Double Bubble, they've been getting 2 down a lot, but Juma on the head end have been putting out some consecutive coolers, but just getting sniped like that with Parasite and Boo coming up alive with the Zuka coming out soon too. That might be a good plan for them to come back for Corner Store, as they already passed the second checkpoint actually, and they're going to be snowballing to the third checkpoint soon. Unless that is going to be the shot or the Winter Pro actually going to be having to say something about it, but Dislike is right to 1v1 them.
Yeah, they were able to at least force them away, but Corner Store did a lot of damage with their first push, but Muck is just doing whatever they can, just dancing around the mid and the tower, just being able to stay alive, get a couple pigs here and there, and just stall out time. But right now, we're about halfway through this game. It is still very back and forth. I think the auto bomb went off on its own and got a kill, so Double Bubble looking to get back into control mid and get more points on the board, or potentially just stall out the zone or stall out the tower here.
Yeah, Amigo did throw out auto bomb and actually did stall enough where actually the agent was supposed to be dead at. That did kill actually the sniper player there on the side of Corner Store. So that was a good kill. But now this is going to get revenge on Drumor and get the last second snipe, and also going to get just the revenge kill as well, as all of the Corner Store is just going to be going up ahead. We're going to see the Stammer on the left side waiting to go up. We're seeing Boo just ready for ledge for him. We're seeing on the right side as well too, the Boo. That's most likely just going to be a Zipcat's going to be on the right side soon, going for the headed. But as of right now, Corner Store is getting more points, and that's going to be a good sneak kill. Maybe a second one. There is the second one. Now there's one more, and then they get the lead. Nope, they don't.
Yeah, not quite enough to get the lead, but they did inch their way ever closer. But a minute to go left in this game, not a lot of time for Corner Store to work with here. And I think if they really want to get in again, getting a nice wipeout would be, it's like the real only way that I see them getting even closer, because as those points go down, it gets harder and harder because you're at such a high disadvantage on that left-hand side that it can feel almost impossible to get anything going. Amigo just getting a very nice pick on the leader, just keeping Corner Store all types of disorganized. 30 seconds remain in this game. Another one going down. 3 members down for Corner Store, and Double Bubble are looking really strong here as they can just hold on for the win here.
Yeah, they just had 25 seconds left, but only Juma is alive. But also the first player on the side, Double Bubble, has a special buddy, so they can go for a crack and GG right there. But at the same time too, we're going to be seeing just everyone from Double Bubble started to come back in. Mug almost got a kill with the umbrella shield, but at the same time too, almost got killed by the Saber. But Parasite is still watching the trash, but they're just waiting for the GG special to come in as the Kraken comes in the last second, with no one touching the tower. That's going to be the first point for Double Bubble.
Yeah, Double Bubble using that Kraken, just basically scaring, because the Kraken didn't get a kill, right? All members were there on tower, but just scaring the members of Corner Store enough to kind of make them back off for even just a second, and that second really didn't matter, as that kind of sealed the win for Double Bubble. And I think very, very interesting comms, I will say, from both sides, but hey, it worked for Double Bubble, so I see, you know what? If it works, why not?
But now, as we're going to be moving on to the second map mode, we're going to be moving on to Waymaker Scorch. Okay. So, the funny thing about Waymaker Scorch is they kill the jelly.
They what?
They kill the jelly. If you have a Switch 1, they kill the jelly on this map for Switch 2. Because they lowered the graphics quality on Switch 1, they killed jellies. And one of the jellies were in this map, so unfortunately, they killed the jelly.
I guess RIP, Scorch Gorge Jelly, you will be missed. I don't know how much, but you will be missed. But yeah, I think on this map here interesting because kind of like okay, I don't want to say they're similar, but there's a very obvious choke point for Rainmaker Scorch. It is both the literal choke point right before the goal and that first checkpoint, because getting there is hard, or getting past there is hard enough because you're at such a high disadvantage because the enemy has both snipe and that overload just shooting down at you. So I think if you're able to get past there, you can get a lot of points on the board really quickly.
They could do that very quickly, or if somehow they get 2 on the grade and 2 nearby the check, they could just hold on to that area and say they got like a special, like a crab. They could just hold on to the area and then hold on to the choke point as well, just get all the way to 20 points if they don't want to. But the main thing is just the control on the first checkpoint, like you said.
Yeah, I think for Double Bubble, I think the comp that they had can work. You know, you have the Stamper with the Booyah Bomb to kind of take over that Grace. You have the Furl Pro to really take advantage of just the Pro being really good weapon in itself, plus the bombs, plus the missiles to kind of clear out space. So you have these weapons that are very, very, I don't say mobile, but they're very good at self-sustaining. They're able to really keep themselves alive, and these players are
okay.
Well, the game ended.
We saw that. We saw that. Okay, so if you didn't know what just happened, they did the wrong mode most likely, or nope, they're subbing. Okay, so what is subbing mean? Subbing means that they are going to be changing a player. What team is subbing? Most likely it might be Corner Store, maybe, or Double Bubble.
Either, yeah, because they both have 6 players, so it literally could be either. So that kind of changes things, because like we can't see we don't know who's subbing out. We don't know how they're gonna change up their weapon comps. Maybe I think we're being told Double Bubble is gonna be the one subbing. Yes, the bubble. So maybe we'll see a change up. Maybe that headed player might switch up. But I think they can stay with the general comp, like general style of the comp that they had. It can work really well.
Honestly, in June Park being swapped out is going to be really interesting because looking at the roster set for like they're having Headed, they have a Timmy, they have a VD, Decap, they have a V Splash. Honestly, Double Bubble's like comp would have been fine if they had it all together, but literally what they could do is like if it Double Bubble, they could have just ran the same comp and just be able to run in, but I think what if I just scared of Corner Store, most likely the E leader. That's why they're subbing it off. Because yeah, no, if you saw in the match with the E leader, they were having some good combos with Boo. And also having good combo with the sword as well. Like I think they're just scared of that, so they can't really battle well against them. So they're just waiting, or they want to have a different sub out just to have a better chance to battle against them in this map. Because Mimic Scourge, even though there's not that many good angles for E-Leader, there is a lot of ledges for the Carbon and for the sword.
Yeah, I could see that, but at the same time, I think the Fro Pro did a lot of damage for Double Trouble, just keeping the Elite away with those missiles. We're gonna see as Double Bubble sticking with what they got on the side. On the other side for Corner Store, I believe, yeah, the switching over to the heavy edit, so a edit v edit battle, very interesting there, with the only real aggressive weapon that you have being that Stamper. So we're gonna see if that change kind of going for a more like paint oriented comp with the Brella and the headed. We're gonna see if that's gonna work for them.
I don't think Seahard was here last round, so I think that's the difference here. Double Bubble is taking with the same comp that we know before, but if you will notice the difference as well for Golden Story, they have basically two backlines on their comp, but you can say that it is midline. They're definitely playing it like a midline, and that's doing really well because the momentum that Golden Story has. If the Brella does get this kill, or with the support kill, they do get the kill in the end. That's going to be pretty good for them to get the first checkpoint, as we're going to see from this, like, actually backing off Double Bubble, going all the way back to the base. But Miko able to just try to do something, but not able to work well as they get the second pop.
Get through that first checkpoint relatively easily, but the question is, can they get any further? Because you see that Genma is up there with the Booyah Bomb, just kind of clearing it out. A flank from Mach, able to get, I believe, a double kill on the side of Corner Store, but it looks like that will be the end of the push. Just turning around, not quite able to get the pick, and that'll be a wipeout. Double Bubble, roll out the red carpet, why don't you? That's a free checkpoint. No, it is not. Corner Store comes alive just in time to stop them, but can they stop them a second time is the real question. You see Parasite back there, not quite able to affect the Rainmaker. They're going to get the checkpoint with a very nice score, just like forcing jump out. And Double Bubble now in a very, very interesting spot here because they have the Rainmaker pop. They're going to take the lead, not get any further, but that'll be a very, very quick lead spot. But Corner Store, they're not too far behind.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Amigo just there. Amigo was there at least. Amigo always tried to go for a double kill sneak, but at the same time too, with everyone able to bounce out, Corner Store knowing that they might be sneaking by with the brush, they were able to secure that kill. But now, this might be a little bit stalling right now for Corner Store because we're seeing immediately too, the E-Leader was always trying to be able to get to. We're seeing the Stamper always trying to go in, but unfortunately does get killed. But Amigo and Gemma trying to do the best, trying to sneak up from behind, getting this like, but no, see her ready to call in this way because they're already to move up forward. That's a curling bomb killer as well, by the way. Marco is able to go for 1-1. Stamper is going to go there as well too. Dislike is going to be battling Amigo, and Dislike does win that. That is still going to be going on to just more advantage to Corner Store.
Yeah, a very, very quick change of fates in the favor of Corner Store, as getting down to 22 points remaining, and they're still here. I think they'll switch up to the heavy edit, giving them that cooler, giving them that extra midline, very, very helpful. A wipeout on the side of the bubble, and that will do it. Corner Store striking back really, really nicely here, switching over from that Carbon to that heavy edit. Did give them a bit more, I would say, space to work with, because you do have a lot of paint for your other weapons, and that proved really well. So good. That's a good win for a corner store. You know, put some momentum back on your side for game 3 here.
Yeah, and look at that. Dennis gets a point. Congrats, Dennis. But
We
will
love
Dennis
Dennis.
get? But Dennis get 2 more points. Is a question. I was going to be moving on to the third map mode combo, which is I don't know what it is because I don't see the screen. It's gonna be Mobile Bombing on zones. So, topic: what would Dennis do in this scenario, knowing that they got the first point and knowing the weapons that they have? What
Stick
would
with
Dennis
it.
do?
Just stick with it. I mean, it works. You have the leader, which I think Charger here is really good leader, especially because I think from the great you can hit up to almost, I think you can hit the enemy snipe like that entire area. That's very good. You have Stamper, just generally good Slayer weapon. You have Umbrella, which can paint zone relatively effectively. You have Jet to hit over Snipe, to hit over the little spawn, platform. And if they keep with the heavy edit, that just gives them, again, a lot of paint to work with, a lot of room for both the Umbrella and the Stamper to work with. So honestly, they can just stick with it. I don't see why they would switch if it works so well for game number 2.
For Double Bubble though, what they might be doing is sticking as well. Because for their comp, they have range actually. The heavy edit, the brush, the sticker stamper, they all are technically painting weapons that can fit for the zone. Because for the zone, it's just one line. It's not a square. It's just an awkward rectangle that's in the middle of the zone that you can have a little bit of angles on too. So with the Booyah from the sticker stamper, and also with the heavy edit doing cooling bombs from Tumor, and just a Muck having the Teta missiles with the people on the zone, they might be able to just cap it because of that if they just keep on rotating specials every single time. But like you said about Corner Store topic was just about just the range that they have with E-Leader and the headache combo as well too. They were able to just stop from going back, waiting for the combo to go in, and decide to push on and all together with the heavy edit, and just playing off that momentum. And with that, they get more pain from that. So yeah, both sides would be smart to just keep playing their weapons, but it all depends on how much kills they get, how much sneaks that happens, because this is a sneaky map.
Yeah, I agree. I think for both teams, honestly, but I think a Stamper for Corner Store can kind of use that underside of the map really effectively, and go here and there and here and there around the zone and try to get as much space as possible. I think for double bubble, I think just aware of the E-Leader is really big, because I think if they poke their head out a bit too much, I feel like a quick snipe from the E-Leader can just completely flip the game in the favor of Corner Store.
Oh yeah, also shout out Double Trouble, by the way.
Yeah.
You always let that slip. But yeah, the main thing is though now is we're just waiting for the map to load in. Most likely there's a substitute that's happening. That's why we're taking this long. But at the same time too, we are going to be now going in actually. So the substitute did slide in, and now we're going to be seeing most likely. Oh, that is a change. Kelp Chip is here now.
Yeah, we're gonna see going with the the crab splash. You know what? It works. And Parasite going over to the not Firefin, the ZF. Yeah, basically the ZF Charger for Corner Store, giving them those tri-strikes for capping the zone and a wall for a bit of survivability. So let's see if that's going to work out for them. And so far it is. It's Corner Store getting the first couple points on the board down to 85. Kelpchip's forcing to pop a crab to quickly flip the zone back.
It's honestly kind of surprising that they decided to go with the ZF instead of taking with the E-Leader, because if you saw in other top level, like in the EU side, we do see that like one play specifically, like Devin plays on this map to stick with E-Leader no matter what, and it plays really well for them. But because they want to go for the strikes, then they want to go for the ancient, they want to go in with momentum. This is why Corner Store actually did swap in to that with that strike, and also like it's the wall, they just get more pressure to save on the zone, and when they get that momentum to go into their base. But as of right now, with Double Bubble actually getting just a bunch killing, the splash going down unfortunately, but with the cooler coming in as well, Sticker Staff is going to get the special soon too. It's going to be a whole fight in mid.
whole lot of pandemonium, ink being slung back and forth on both sides. Amigo getting one, going to go down. Two Seahearts, heavy edit. A Booyabomb coming out, Crab coming out for a double bubble. Just looking to see what they can do with the zone. One's going to go down for double bubble. Seaheart just keeping themselves alive. They see Drumar. Their heavy edit battle. Seaheart's going to win that and able to get the cooler off for their team. Another Booyabomb coming out. Just a lot of specials going down in that zone, and Corner Store will end up on top of that fight. Getting Amigo before that Kraken gets out is very, very key. Just Corner Store now able to kind of recollect themselves for a second, because now you're out of your penalty points and you're looking to score a lot of points here.
The one thing to know as well for Amigo is, since they are the bus player, they are the sneaky player, they want to go for the backline, and that's what happened for the last two times. But Calpchus, with them being the flash player, them being the supportive player, they were able to just get the kill on, unfortunately, the ZF player again. But just like going in for a snake if possible to try to get anything in the zone. But that's going to be Buya coming out as well. But also Amigo again going for the kill on Seahearts, but they jump off immediately. But the sticker sampler does die. But that still means for the zone itself, it's going to be just uncontested.
It's going to be uncontested for a little bit here, as both these teams are still trying to fight for it to be just a bit neutral for a second here. Corner Store going to recapture the zone, but another Crab, I think it's like, what, the fourth or fifth Crab coming up from Kelp Chips, just putting up a lot of pressure on the side of Corner Store, able to get double bubble the opportunity to get in and get some space. But again, these under routes underneath the zone are really being a thorn in both these teams' sides. And if you're double bubble, you're looking to get something going here, and that's a good start. Just like not quite able to get any picks with the Jet. Never mind, able to get one before they go up. The strikes are gonna come out. Not a lot is gonna happen there, and Corner Store are trying to fight their way through it, and they are able to eventually recapture the zone.
The good start was the Autobomb getting an unlucky kill on the side of Corner Store because of the weight of the Autobomb, slightly getting them somehow. But the main thing is right now for Corner Store, because they didn't get the lead, because Double Bubble was able to just get the revenge, and Dislike actually getting a really good inkjet kill on Amigo, just point blank. It's huge, but the thing is, that's an issue, is they're all stuck in the corner with paint. That's the main issue right now. It's just the paint battle is Double Bubble just winning that every single time.
Yeah, but Corner Store so far is doing exactly what they can to get up and get that pressure, but Kelp Chips Crabs are doing a very good job of keeping them away from their ram, making sure they have at least something to work with. But Corner Store is matching them another Booyah Bomb. Booyah be Booyah in that zone area, trying to get something going, but Corner Store will end up on top and keep that clock ticking. 20 ticks remaining, a minute to go left in this game. If you're Double Bubble, you have to get something going. That's not a good start. This Cup is gonna go down. Needle trying to go for the zone. Dislike just distracting him, not quite able to get the pick just yet, but that will be zone and the game. Corner Store will hold on and win game number 2 or game 3.
Well, it's a second win in the set of best of 5, so you technically are still correct, Topic. But the main thing is, though, right now is for Corner Store and Double Bubble. Corner Store, they're adapting to Double Bubble's playstyle, I think, because if you notice during that map, every single time that Amigo was trying to sneak every single time, Corner Store slightly started to know about it even more and decided to sneak off more in the camping areas, more the sniping areas. They were waiting for the ledge spots to actually be contested with Amigo so they could just double team on it. So that's just a really good adaptive play that they've been doing right now. But now, since we're going moving on to a different map, which is going to be actually Client Blitz on, I think, Museum. I don't know 100%. Oh, there it is. Client Blitz Museum. This is going to be a really good advantage for aggro play style instead of defensive play style.
Yeah, and I think having those drops are going to be very important, because if you don't watch out for those, you can very quickly find someone on your plat, or not on your plat, just threatening to get on your plat. And we've seen for both these teams, just having an aggressive player, whether it be the Stamper, whether it be the I guess the crab can count, the splash can count, just having someone there, whether it be the brush, just having someone that can get in the face of the enemy team is very, very big. So we're gonna see what they can do, especially on a map like this where you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful of both the ramp through mid and on that block, because the enemy has multiple ways to get in.
If they want to do the block, that's gonna be really funny. That's just the main thing.
It would be funny.
Everyone goes to the ramp because it's the more safer play, but the riskier play is getting the jump on the block to the pillow to getting the score in, because you can get shut down immediately by the headed player on the corner store, or the headed player from double bubble, plus the missiles as well. Actually, I think that was still kept from double bubble last game, but no. The splash actually changed off, I think. So you get killed off by crab that time. But the main thing is though, is if you know this map, we're gonna be here for 5 minutes plus overtime, because this is a stalemate map. We will be here for basically 3 minutes with a score not under 60, because everyone is always equal here. There is basically any momentum push that you get is stopped because there's not that much clams. But if there's not that much clams, you just stay in a fist fight. We're just playing zones as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think what is important here is having how these teams manage their clam economy, because if they're able to, you know, build it up to like maybe 2, 3, heck, if they can 4 power clams, and just make sure that they rotate who has clams in at one time is very, very important. But we're gonna see, as not a whole lot of changes for double bubble from the side of corner store, a very big change going over to the Gluga dualies, a weapon that is very good. I think it's very, very underseen. I still like it, but going to Glugas does help with that Booyah Bomb to kind of clear out plat. So we're gonna see how that affects the game here.
It was back in 2022 with Pika. If anyone knows the Google Duelies, they know a little bit about Pika playing like many Google Duels. If I remember back in S2, but seeing this back in action with the Booyah Bomb, I think, right?
Yes.
This is still huge, because this is just still countering double bubbles Nicholas Hamper, and because with the Google Duelies, they still have like, I think it's a 2-shot on the dually, but at the same time too, that's just a good range buff that they have, that they can just secure that little spinner area to just keep swinging clams. This is smart play.
Yeah, Migo trying to go very aggressive here. They're gonna get shut down, but that gives them a chance to get in. The Booyah Bomb will get canceled almost immediately. Not a good start that you're looking for. Jumar forced to back away here, but you see Muck there as well, just trying to do what they can and kind of clear out space, able to get the Glugas down. Cool is gonna come out for double bubble, looking to get something going, looking to get some momentum on their side, along with the missiles. Amigo just being a distraction the best they can, forcing an inkjet out from corner store. Unfortunately, they're not going to do a whole lot. They're going to go 2 members down, and corner store protecting the jump. As you see, I think one person made it actually with 7 clams just in the beast. It's going to be Muck. They're going to be forced to jump away. So corner store not giving up any points just yet, but now can they get in is the real question here. Amigo though saying, hey, no Glugas allowed.
Yep, the bomb kill to the wall and making instant death right there. As we're going to be seeing right now, the Booyah coming out as well. And we're going to be seeing another switch coming out soon. The Inkjet from Dislike coming out soon. Hopefully, they're going to be staying alive, but we're seeing Muck with the Tentacles coming out. That's going to be 2 down for double bubble. But once again, it's been 2 minutes. 2 clans has been established, but everyone is fighting for mid. Well, welcome to the stalemate that we have all been fighting for, and literally been all the special coming out soon for corner store. They have a chance with the Booyah Bomb, never mind. The Booyah Bomb got killed off, the headache got killed off, but Amigo getting killed off at Dislike. That's another kill for the Nicholas Hamper. Drumar trying to bet to get a climb as well, possibly get a second climb, but then being the last alive, we are still trying the best just to hold control for mid to get to the ramp, to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see, because Dislike is gonna get in there. You see a Booyah Bomb gonna be popped on the plat. One member gonna go down for double bubble, along with the Inkjet, but a flank from Amigo kind of cause some distraction. They're gonna go down. Instead, 2v2. There's a clam going in, looking for even more, but not quite, as it's just Dislike remaining with 2 clams at the rate, looking to score him. They are gonna score both those clams before going down, but now if you double bubble, you have a free power clam to work with. But the question is, can you get that in? Are you can you get enough space and get enough time with the basket open to get those points in? Because right now they've been kind of stalled either in mid or on like the spinner of Corner Store's plat and not any further.
The reason why is because Amigo always gets shut down. They need Amigo to come in to actually start a momentum push. While for saying, oh, on the corner sword, the Google seal going down, but the Bella is the main thing that they need to worry about. The Signal Sapper is going to be trying to go in for the corner lane, but that is also Kraken coming in too. Maybe a jump coming in with it because of the Winter Pro actually having a ball, but no. They're waiting for a little bit more to get more kills, which they do. And with second power plant coming hitting the basket. That is going to be the lead right there, with more clans coming in shortly after.
Yes, 48 points remain. Talk about a way to respond. Now, if you're a Corner Store, your back foot is up against the wall, looking to do something here. A minute to go left in this game. You still have some momentum, though. You have a power glam. You have proven that you can score, but can you do it again? Nice snipe there by Parasite to get Genma out of there. But can you keep up this momentum? Two members going to be down, looking for the third one sitting in mid. It's going to be Amigo with the protection of Jumar. 45 seconds remain in this game. It's a matter of, can you get on plat? Can you get a good hold? Can you get something, some sort of offense going here?
The momentum shift we saw last game on the Zones map was a wipeout. If we see a wipeout happen again in this map, that's going to be the main difference in either side. But we're seeing right now Amigo trying the best to do battle the Bella, and they do win against that. They're just playing defense as well in mid, but either Parasite still has the ball in play, getting the snipe to it so they can start something. But Druma is still winning on the ramp, actually still getting killed off by Parasite. They might be getting a start soon. The Raven could be popped out soon as well. But also with the head almost getting the ball in, that's still going to be a little bit of waiting time because Corner Store needs to get 2 balls in.
We're 7. We're into overtime now. A whole lot of time going down to the wave breaker. Ball is gonna be destroyed. If you're Corner, you have to go right now. Ball's gonna go down. It's just like popping the jet. Trying to do something here. About 10 seconds or 20 seconds left to go in this game. I saved that ball somehow, some way. 2 members are gonna go down for Corner Store. Muck, you're getting a triple kill to ice the game, and that will be game 4 in the books. Now, game number 5, double bubble Corner Store. This is interesting now.
It is interesting because this is, I don't know if seed matters. I think seeds do matter. This is seed 4 versus seed 14, by the way. Seed 1, 2, and 3 are gone. They're not in this gold bracket. But seed 4, which is Corner Store, battle against Double Bubble, who's seed 14, and then showing this off, that is really interesting about how much that Double Bubble can just play super well. How much momentum, how much speed they have, or no, you know how much speed now, how much momentum, how good they are comparing to how Sendu says that they are, compared to how Corner Store is playing right now. They are still playing super well. They have so much range battle. They know how to play the fights with range. It just, unfortunately, the objective matters too. And unfortunately, because of clan place, you have to wait for the clan respawn. But every single time the clan respawn has double bubble, it's just able to get kills on the exact moment they need to. That just makes it to here in this tower control game. Now going to game 5, yeah.
Yeah, game 5, TC Undertow. This is gonna be very interesting for both sides because we're go back to game number 1, tower control on Shipshape Cargo. I believe, yeah, Double Bubble won that game, so that's gonna be very interesting. Maybe tower is their thing. Maybe they found a way to, you know, make it work in their favor, but I don't know because Corner Store looked pretty strong those game 2 and 3, but Double Bubble did win game 4, so we're gonna see game number 5. What do these teams bring out? Double Bubble going back to a classic, what we saw from them from game number 1. For the side of Corner Store, the new Rapid Blaster Pro with Cooler. So you have a way to affect the tower, so let's see if that's gonna work. Along with the sticker Splatana.
I think Corner Store just has a completely new cop, honestly, compared to game 1. Because that Cooler Sniper, I don't know if it was game 1 or if it was his match, they had a splashdown blaster in play. I think it was from Double Bubble, I think, but now they're not here anymore. Or I think it might have been by Chronosaur, but now they changed it to the cooler just to become adaptive because that Booyah is gonna be with this like to be another save for the checkpoint when they get to it. But as we're seeing right now, with 2 down from Double Bubble, 3 down from Double Bubble, we're seeing Chronosaur just sweeping the checkpoint, going to the last one, the harder checkpoint actually out of all checkpoints.
Yeah, but they have a lot of momentum on their side here as Corner Store getting another 3 down on Double Bubble. You see the Splatoon Saber just walking up the rail, walking up the ramp there, getting one. Another one going down. 10 ticks remaining.
Oh my god.
Kill
Just
with
like
the Zuka and not Zuka, with the Jet, and that will do it. 100-0. They saw that game 5. They were like, nah. And they just ran right through Double Bubble to win Game 5 very convincingly and to punch their ticket into finals. Corner Store, very dominant last game.
that one cop was just their breath of it was just their air, the breath of air to just lock in, and they did that. This like triple immediately at the end was just crazy to see. But again, the adaptability that they were able to have, just changing from each weapon, but now figuring out that, oh, we can play fast, and they just decided to play fast and just immediately just go into the base of Double Bubble and just kept going, kept battling no matter what. And literally because of that, they just 100-0'd at the end. Like you said, Topic, they just said nope and just decided to just win. That's all that happened.
That is what happened, and now Corner Store are going to be in finals against a team we saw earlier today, Vector Cry. So we're going to see, I think we're going straight into it, if I recall. Yes, we're going straight into it. No time to rest. Both these teams are itching and raring to go. Corner Store, we just saw them. They played really well, especially in that last game, just absolutely dominant. Vector Cry, if you remember, with a very, very quick 3-0 over Strictly Splatonic, looking to, bounce back, or looking to continue their run, because I believe they only lost, at least in gold bracket, they've only lost one game. So looking to continue that, their streak of winning against Corner Store here, which is going to be their toughest opponent yet. But it all starts somewhere, as it's going to be on game number 1, Splat Zone Umami.
So you want to know something really funny, actually, Topic?
Yes.
Again, remember, I don't know if seeding matters, if seeding is by Sanu seeding, or if it's actually manually seeded by like the actual seeding council under pressure from the cup. But funny enough, the first time we saw Vector Cry in the bracket was against C3. They 3-0'd them, and then they fought against C Drive, C13, and they went 3-1. Now seeing them against Heat 4, there is a weird phenomenon. If you look at that result for Vector Cry going here, is what's going to go on, honestly, on how they play. Is it because of the map modes? Is it because of how they play against different weapons? Who knows? But we saw Corner Store against Double Bubble going to a game 5 with some usual map modes, but just because of the clashes that they had was just the main difference. So seeing on Splash Zone Umami Game 1 a lockup map, what do you think will happen knowing that these two teams can actually just play hyper dive? Let's say that, honestly, they can just go in and fight. What will happen?
I think it depends on who can get Silo. Whichever team I feel like can get Silo first and hold it for, a good amount of time is going to absolutely dominate. Because for Corner Store, we saw E-Leader did a lot, Parasite did a lot of damage. We saw Dislike on the Umbrella do a lot of damage. We saw the Stamper do a lot of damage. Heart, with switching over from, I believe, Heavy Edit to the new Rapid Blaster, did a lot of damage, especially on that last game of just getting some chip damage for the rest of their team. So it just depends. And Vector Cry, Like we saw in that first set, Stormy with that blaster can cause a lot of damage. Turtle with their sword can do a lot of damage. So I think it's just a matter of which team can get Silo. If you get Silo, you can get a whole lot of points basically for free.
Just in case for the new people here that doesn't know about Splatoon, why is Silo?
It's that little round bump area, like right in front. Like if you go straight from spawn, that little mound is Silo. But enough chit chat. Both these teams are ready to go. From the Ink Up number 87 finals, let's see Vector Cry going with Umbrella Blaster shot, what we've seen from them before. And for the side of Corner Store, sticking with that leader, going back over to the heavy edit and going over to the sticker stamper instead of the V stamper. So let's see what happens here.
Here's the funny thing, Topic. Actually, for Turtle, they changed the brother from Stamper. They went Stamper for the round 1. So now that what brother is going to be interested to see because they're battling this like in the 1v1. We're going to be seeing the Custom Blaster coming in. That's where we remember it from. Okay, so the Custom Blaster is going to be huge coming in because that's going to be a cap for at least one zone immediately. But this like Inkjet immediately coming to play, getting a solid double right there. But again, the always issue that Corner Store had from the last round was the objective. That's the main problem right now.
Yeah, Turtle doing what Umbrella does best, just staying alive and being a nuisance, able to just keep the rest of Corner Store away from the zones because you saw Corner Store, they were 3-man up and they weren't able to cap the zone because Turtle was in the back, in their base basically, just causing a nuisance. And now Vector Cry holding the zone, looking to get more points on the board. You see Turtle's still gonna be there. They're gonna go down. Coolest coming out for Corner Store, looking to get in somehow, some way. One member's gonna go down, 1-for-1 trade. Stormy just sending some shots, not able to get any picks. They're gonna go down. Cry and the heavy edit are gonna be back there, but they're holding on to the zone. 56 remaining. It looks like they'll be at least neutralized for now. Of course, we're looking to get the other zone. Turtle on a bit of a flank here at the bottom of your screen, looking to get something going. Weebop coming out as well. Stormy on top mid, just causing a bit of a distraction, and a lot is happening. No zones are going to be taken just yet. Stormy going forward, getting one, looking for even more, and Vector Cry is still holding on to zone. 13 ticks remaining. It would just keep it in their grasp. 7, 6, 5, still going this way, trying to do something here, neutralizing it. It's not going to be enough, and Corner Store, unfortunately, their last second attempts will not be enough. And Vector Cry, like we saw from the first set, a very, very dominant first game.
Again, Corner Store, they had chances to come in, but the main thing that was the issue that hold them back is the objective. They can get kills. We know that for sure. But the main issue on this is it's a 2-zone map. They can't control it made with two zones. They are really good with 1 zone, but 2 zones, that's a little bit of an issue because the mid doesn't count as a zone. So we see Vector Cry just come in and just sweep the competition like that, even though there was some doubles, some triples coming down the line, just like being able to beat Vector Cry a little bit. We saw though something interesting. Turtle and Stormy, both of them are a duo together. Cry is just there to help support, and Fire is the support, obviously. But the main thing is though that we saw in that first game was Stormy and Turtle being bait. That's what they need going to Humpback Pump Check of Mainmaker is bait on the checkpoint, the pedestal. If they all go bait, they have that bait. They go in with the custom blaster splashdown for the pop. They go all the way in. Turtle just goes in with just some swipes or stuff like that, or even Umbrella. That's the Vector Cry's key to victory here. But for Corner Store, they've been swapping weapons time to time that they can honestly play with anything. Definitely fit Cherry Heart and ZH. Those two have been the key differences here for players, but Dislike being the main aggro, Parasite being the backline, going with either ZF or going with E-Leader, they have enough chance to just snipe the whole map and just keep defending no matter what.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna see here as both these teams are still ready. No changes for Vector Cry from the side of Corner Story, big change going with the decap. Very interesting weapon there. You know, you do have that bubble for that bit of safety, but decap also being very, very aggressive main weapon in of itself. As see right away, Turtle just going down almost instantaneously. We're gonna see what they can do here. First pop goes to Corner Store, but can they get any further? Can they go for mid? Unfortunately, the decap will go down, trying to sneak around, not quite able to do anything else there. Stormy going in, getting one, looking for even more, and looked like Vector Cry, despite the not so good start, are able to recapture mid pretty easily.
The bait play is coming to play once again with Turtle and with Story once again. I've seen this like immediately just counteract that, and we're seeing Turtle already on the right side getting ready to just go in for more kills. We're seeing the Vuya coming in soon too, but no one picked up the Rainmaker yet because they know that they need to fight for control on mid. With 2 down especially, they can get control here and now go for the right checkpoint. But again, they're waiting for a little bit more because they need another special to come back in.
Do as Corner Store are going to be the first ones to pick up. Look, just running it, you know, getting something on the board is better than nothing. But now Vector Cry, they have man image. They're able to force back Seaheart and the members of Corner Store really far back, able to get the lead here. Plus the checkpoint potentially with the splash and the clear out that elbow, able to do so. 2 members going down for Corner Store. Vector Cry looking really, really nice. Blue ball coming out from Turtle. Fire's gonna grab it. Zuka's coming out, able to get one. Never mind, no more points on the board because of dislikes Inkjet, and that will stall it out for now. But you see Stormy is still there, not anymore. As right now, Corner Store doing what they can to kind of rebound from the points that Vector Price put up.
Are they going right? I think they're going right. Okay, they dropped from the middle. Okay, thank God. But if they were going right, we would have seen the scene from Vector Cry with the Sickle Sapper actually getting the kill immediately. But Vector Cry himself actually getting the Zuka kill right there. And that's going to be a checkpoint for Corner Store, but everyone is being collided on the right side. That's going to be Vector Cry a second one down, but at the same time, Corner Store having more advantage to able to just stay there on the right side now. But the Mimic is going to be set. So that's going to be amazing, but nope, Vector Cry picks it up. Now it's going to be more in middle, but that's going to be another death for Vector Cry, just lowering the defenses right there.
There's a nice snipe there. Keep another
Oh my
one.
God.
Nice snipe there. Just keeping this Rainmaker in this corner, not allowing Mr. Cry to get it back toward mid, making sure that their progress is not going to be all for naught. Booyah Bob coming up from trail, at least trying to clear out a bit of mid here. And now, if you're Vector Cry, you're looking to at least hold on. You're looking to keep Corner Store away. Turtle and the sword 1v1. The sword fight is gonna end in a trade on both sides, actually.
They snapped the next for that one, honestly. I'm being so real, but that was Seahard right there, almost getting the lead right there. They almost got the hill, but Story was able to be right there to play defense. But again, the bait tactic for Story almost succeeded right there to get a double kill right there, but unfortunately they didn't. And Corner Story left it at 53 once again. Turtle and Story now coming in as a duo, going for the left hill, but again, they don't know that fire is going for the right side, but 2 of them was on the left side as well. So now all the players that was on the left side for Corner Story is easily moving to the right side. The decap trying to do anything, but no, they don't get anything because they get cut by the Booyah from Vector Cry. And with another Zuka getting almost a double right there, Seahard actually dropping to mid. That's the more power to Vector Cry to just hold defense in the middle, but actually, I think the shot is going to be going down soon. Nope, they don't notice it. So Vector Cry is still going to get Zuka, and we're going to be seeing Story going in, getting more points down to 18.
Yeah, getting it down to 18, that's basically game winning at this point. You have a minute to go left in this game. You have to basically track the entire plat of Vector Cry. They're trying to get something going here. That's a decent start, getting a 1-for-1 trade. Unfortunately, the decap is gonna go down there. Parasite though staying alive, just doing what they can. Booyah Bubbles enough from Turtle here, just stall them for even longer, possibly get a kill. Not quite able to. Turtle going down instead. The path is being laid open. Parasite going, not gone just yet. 20-18, looking to get something here. Both teams fighting for this Rainmaker because this pop could mean everything. Looks like Vector Cry will be the ones to get it. Will be the ones to drop it off. No, they are. They're gonna gonna die on
Bro,
the rail. The
no
wipeout.
way.
Parasite's gonna pop it, gonna take it, gonna run it. 4 points. Now, Vector Cry, their backs are up against the wall. 10
no.
seconds remaining. They basically have to get the knockout to win, but we're gonna see here if Cornerstore can hold on for a couple more seconds.
No shot, dude. What just happened there was basically a 3-kill with the Rainmaker from Cornerstone to get that lead all the way through. And then the Rainmaker batches just stalled out, which is going to the advantage of Cornerstone right there. But because that final cover the decap coming in, that's going to be this first point for Cornerstone. In Rainmaker Hunt Pack, coming in clutch at the last 15 seconds, able to just get a solid push, getting the 3K with the Rainmaker, then just having momentum pushes, momentum paid going all the way through, and then just able to get the sneaky painkiller as well, going all the way to the end. But now we move on to another map mode that's gonna be a little bit stally, but more momentumous in the end. Inkblot on Art Academy on Tower Control.
Very interesting. I'm trying to think how they would change it up, because I think if you're Vector Cry, I mean, you had that game. Honestly, I think what happened was they saw how close that Cornerstone were, and they kind of panicked, so they try to go on the rail. But unfortunately, if you don't drop off, it just goes right where the rail started. So that wipeout really did, knock the wind out of their sail. But it's a new game. I think I could see very little switches from either side. The only thing I could really see switching is possibly Seaheart going back over to the rapid deco, not the rapid, the rapid with the cooler, because it worked so well on Undertow. Maybe it worked again on Inkblot, because you can shoot up 2 bats really easily. You can clear plat really easily. You have cooler for your frontliner. So that's the really only change I could see, honestly.
Honestly, I can say with the Rainmaker for Vector Cry, I think the rail was just a little bit of a mistake. They caught the rail by accident, and then they decided to not, because they don't know how to drop or like where to drop yet. I think they just went on there by mistake, and then unfortunately they tried to go all the way to the left side, or when they dropped to middle, they jumped like at the very middle of the rail to drop it. But for Cornerstone, they kind of figured it out to know that, so that's why the Rainmaker went back there. But it's because Vector Cry didn't drop on the floor too early, because the Rainmaker goes to the last place where people stood in. So yeah, I think for Vector Cry, yeah, you're right, they panicked. But for Cornerstone, Cherry going back to the cooler or Rapid Blast, that might be doable, but they need to fight against Stormy. That's the problem here. So do they want to go with range to battle Stormy, or do they want to just stay aggressive like that? But we'll see with Vector Cry not changing anything.
Hydra.
And, wait, huh?
Hydra.
Oh.
You want
What?
to talk? You want to talk about bringing out the big guns? I don't think it gets bigger than that. So I think Parasite is gonna go with the "Hey, I have a bubble. You can't approach me. Try me" type of attitude here. But the question is, can they get on tower? Because right away it looks like
Okay, well,
well, it looks like there will be a DC on the board, so that unfortunately will be a restart since the game just started. But yeah, I think Hydra is very interesting because it can cause a lot of damage, especially if it's allowed to be on one of the stacks. It can just sit there and just rain down bullets from above, basically.
honestly, this is suspicious, honestly. Hydra. Okay. Why Hydra of all things? Because we know for Parasite, they ran E-Leader and ZF. They never ran a Splatling until now. That's a shocker, seeing the Hydra come into play. I think because it's the Gatling gun, and we saw as well for, I think, Cherryheart, they didn't go Hydra. They went for the Blaster, I think. So they want to go something that has still momentum gun killing. They have paint output with that, but with a Hydra's a little bit too slow for that. But if you know your positioning with the Hydra, it makes a lot of sense. But at the same time too, the DC might have been a little bit of a mistake from Parasite, because maybe they DC'd with that weapon being picked. So who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah, I personally think they chose Hydra because it is of course a splatling, so it's very dangerous to approach, and it has bubble. So having either a bubble on tower, kind of standard, or having a bubble on like up the bats area to kind of protect your frontliners could be very, very clutch there. So I think it's more of not just a high. I think it's for so you can have a bit more, you can be a bit more not aggressive, you can be a bit more forward with your team than with an E-leader, and also having that bubble is gonna be very, very helpful, especially if you can use it to get through that second checkpoint, which is the biggest choke point in the game on this map.
But if you want an awkward pick, the Tri-Slosher for Sama is calling to someone's name, I think, because the main thing is for a Tri-Slosher is you're able to actually go on to bats and able to stay there and sneak kill all the way. But the main thing is that's the difference between a Tri-Slosher from Sama and the Hydra from Parasite is that bubble that you mentioned. The bubble on bats as a Hydra, that's a really risky play right there, man. But the bubble on the actual stack or on the tower does make sense. But on tower with the bubble, the bubble itself actually dimensions quicker than having it on the floor because it is on a actual objective. So it's kind of Nintendo's way to say no cheating allowed with the special being a free checkpoint, more or less. That funny enough, actually, it does last as long as a checkpoint for the bubble. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But for Vector Cry, I think the second is what they want to be with, because they stick with the same thing for the last two games. The only difference that we might see is Turtle going with Sticker Samper instead of Bella, but we'll see.
I mean, I don't see why they would switch from stickers, because you do have, of course, just a Splatana, very good, very aggressive main weapon, and also just a support, not the support, the kind of force clearing of a spot with Booyah Bomb, especially on tower at the end. The GG Booyah, very, very helpful, very, very good there. But we're gonna see, because both these teams are still, it looks like we're still waiting on someone to rejoin the lobby here. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think they're allowed to switch, but it's hard to say because I do think the Hydra might stay, because I can see it working basically.
Sama, Booyah, if you think there's gonna be there's gonna be a sub player from Golden Store coming in.
Say that again?
There might be a sub player coming in soon, because Parasite, who DC'd, might have the Wi-Fi might have died. So maybe there's a chance that we get a sub in for Corner Store. Maybe ZH might be playing this time, because AOB is crossed out on Sunday. So yeah, that's the difference here, by the way, too. Corner Store has 6 people. So if one player dies off, another one can fill in. But we'll see. We see on the top that there's like 8 people in the lobby instead of 9. So we're gonna be waiting a little bit longer for that.
Yeah, I think the switching out of Parasite potentially is going to cause a lot of a lot of differences for Corner Store, because I think they've had a backline every single game, right? So, and I believe that Parasite is their only backline, if I recall correctly. So having them potentially out of the picture is gonna really drastically change how you play the game, or how they play the game.
Yeah, so if Parasite is not in the picture, Vector Cry is going to have so much more momentum to push in, because for Corner Store, if you didn't notice actually, Corner Store relies aggressiveness on Dislike. Because Dislike has been always popping up in chats, always getting good kills, but who's at the back? That's Parasite. So for the defense behind them, they want Parasite. But and for everyone in front, that's gonna be dislike. That's what Cherry and that's what the other player of Cornerstone has been feeding off of the entire time. They've been feeding off of dislike to just go up ahead, and Parasite to just stay defensive at the back. But if Parasite is not here, and another player comes in, maybe the strat might shift over to just be a whole hyper aggro comp instead. And we have Cherry on the headed and just keep on going on playing with the rapid instead and just keeping on going. But for Vector Cry though, since they have only 4 people, they rely on 4 people, they know how to play with each other with synergy. They just know what they want to do. It's just all depending on how they fight it in the end.
Yeah, and back to talking about Cornerstone for a little bit. Yeah, I think it's gonna switch up because at least from the outskirts of it, looks like
that's a new person.
It's like ZH is a roller player, so that's definitely gonna switch it up, going from one of the longest range to one of the not shortest range, but one of the most melee weapons in the game. Is gonna be very interesting here because that definitely does switch things up. But if they do go with the, I think it says they played V roller. If they do go with that, of course, you still have that bubble to work with. You still have a way to get to bats and just completely kind of cut off that area and keep or get a very easy way to that second checkpoint, which is, of course, the biggest choke point because you are, of course, on the unequal whale. Rail.
Yeah, but the thing is, like you said, they go with a bowler, but if they go with a dynamo, maybe that cough basically just means that it's maybe might be doubtful because they might just be going with the V bowler instead, or they might be going with the carbon bowler. So that's how insane a bowler can change here. If the backline is gone, they're going to go full aggro. They're going to go in no matter what. They're just going to say, we are balling and we don't care about it. But that might be actually good for the bait player, for Stormy and for Turtle. Because if they go for that, Stormy and Turtle does get actually countered, but they need to combo it together. That's the main thing they need to do. And if they do that, GG's. We might be going to game 5 with that.
I mean, we're gonna see. We're only on game 3, so I don't know. But yeah, I do think that the roller does, if they bring a roller, depending on which one they do, will be a real thorn in the side of Vector Cry, because, you know, you've played against Corner Store's E-Leader, but this new I don't want to say this new obstacle you have to deal with is going to be something interesting, but we're going to see Vector Cry is ready for the side of Corner Store, bringing out the Carbon Roller. Very interesting. And also, dislike on the Nautilus. Another, I forgot to mention that in the last time, but very interesting there. So we're going to see how this kind of switches up for Corner Store.
Wait, dislike on the Nautilus. Wait, that is a huge change actually too, because dislike going... Wait, this like changed from the Nautilus to what they had before, and this like not going for. Does that not have jet? I forgot.
No, it has splashdown.
It has splashdown. Okay, this is a big change here because the no jet from dislike means that they're playing for more AOE. They want to be more in the fight and together as a team instead of being far away as aggro. So and we're seeing that change actually show up right now, but just like actually go on to the going to battle, but unfortunately they die. But still, we see immediately the change that Cornsor actually did, because now they're at 67. Even though that might not look like a good start, they've been going in all together, and they have a lot of mids still all together. But even though they get chipped away 2 down still, that's still good that they all are here together. Because they know when to push, and they are ready to do it right now with 2 down on Vector Cry.
Yeah, this switch up is actually working out really well for their Corner Store. Unfortunate jump in there, Stormy able to get a pick there, and kind of puts a little bit of wind, knock the wind out of their sail at least a little bit here, as Vector Cry able to, you know, stop the bleeding for at least a moment. But you see, yeah, like you were talking about, the team of Corner Store is all fighting together. They're all moving as like one unit, and it's really working out, winning these fights, cutting these isolated people and just working it out. As you see, they're able to get at least back to this second checkpoint here. You see ZH doing what they can with the Zipcaster, just causing a bit of distraction, able to get 1 pick before going down. 2 members going down from either side, looking for something even more. 3 down for Vector Cry. It's just fire, just forced back here with the cooler and Corner Store, able to break through that second checkpoint and still going. ZH gets a kill, looking for even more. 3 members down, looking for the delayed wipeout, possibly. There it is, and Corner Store at the final checkpoint already.
Playing as a unit and killing off the bait players chip by chip, leading them all the way near by the end. That's Boo sneaking. Oh wait, 1v1, oh, 1v1. Okay, wow. Corner Store, the momentum change from staying back with Parasite to just saying we're balling and we're going to be fighting no matter what, led them to a KO right there. They want to play fast, and they know how to play fast. The main thing now, that's the last thing, was they need to kill off the bait players from Vector Cry, and they do. Every single time, they chipped away one by one, putting them in awkward positionings. And literally with that, now we're at match point or tournament point for Corner Store.
That kind of switch of fate, as you may call it, they were forced to go much more aggressive, and as you saw, they moved as a unit. Where one member went, the rest followed shortly after, and that really helped here. As like we saw, Vector Cry, they did play a bit isolated from time to time. They were going off in their own little corners, trying to affect something there, and you saw the masses of Corner Store just descending upon them, getting picks, getting basically, I believe, a delayed wipeout a couple of times, and able to, just shift that into continuous momentum. But we're gonna see, like you said, it's gonna be turning point. Game number 4, a really good Tetris piece, I may add. Barnacle and Dime on Clamblitz.
Oh, so it's Barnacle? What are you talking about? It's Barnacle and Dime. The thing is just misspelled. It's Barnacle and Dime. If anyone knows that, yeah, I'm fun with tier 20. But still, the main thing is for Barnacle and Dime, we are going to be seeing the Tetris piece. Like you said, your favorite Tetris piece. It's a S shape, not a T. Okay, it's a Z. It's not a T. It's not an I piece. The I piece is better because you get an actual Tetris. But the main thing is, we're going to be seeing the main issue with Corner Store, what they had in the previous game, in the previous set actually, the clan respawns. With Parasite not here though, there's a difference. And with them playing hyperactive the last game, maybe they can bounce off them playing objective and actually going in for scoring every single time this time. But this is only if dislike stays on the Nihilus, because that splash down range that they had can actually protect them while the ball goes in. And then they just keep on rolling with that after that.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think just having the gnaw instead of the umbrella with the splash now with the inkjet, I think it kind of encourages dislike to be more with the team. And I just saw there, it worked out, because as umbrella player myself, it is kind of not instinct, but it's more like I want to be on my own, because Umbrella is kind of self-sufficient. It can work by itself, especially with Jet and its shield just protecting your landing. So I think I think Corner Store just playing more together is really, really helpful. But if you're a Vector Cry, the biggest thing, I think AoE would be really, really deadly here. If Corner Store sticks with this game plan of moving as a unit, AoE can cause a lot of damage.
Fair note, Topic is a little bit of a liar there. Topic played Bella back in like 2022, 2023. Topic did play Bella and Webtime very played together. So yeah, it's true that the AoE is going to be helpful there, but at the same time too, it might be a little bit of a advantage for Vector Cry if they just don't have the same thing too, because Dormy has the AoE instead. Turtle has AoE with the sword. It might be the disturbing of piece for Corner Store if they actually don't have the chance to hold on together because of the objective play. I'm still just worried about that with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as worried about the objective play for Corner Store because they did it really well. Of course, it says Clamblitz, so this match can last either 30 seconds or 5 minutes, no in between. But I think on this map specifically, it's a bit easier to get a lot of clams going, because clams spawn relatively close to the basket. You have that plat area, you have snipe, and you have the pit, but we're gonna see Vector Cry fighting for their eternity lies, while Corner Store looking to end this as soon as possible, sticking with what they have. Actually, so with the sploos from ZH, really just gonna go all out if they can, because why not? We're gonna see if that's gonna work out for them.
Are we seeing some groovy gameplay right here with that sploosh? I think that might happen. I think ZH had some inspiration with that goofy sploosh playing. If we play them super aggro, sticking in so many times, that is the sploosh play that we always love. I've been seeing them immediately after going in for the edit. That is the little goofy play that we love to see. Maybe going in for double getting cry, and they do. They have a chance to go in for the ball right now.
Yeah, just really fast gameplay. You see them just moving and grooving and moving around, able to get the second power clan to hit the basket, and with 57 points on the board through 2 members down for Corner Store, and that will be the end of the push. But less than a minute into this game, and Corner Store are moving really fast here.
Honestly, like you said at the start, this could last for 30 seconds or 5 minutes. This honestly might be lasting for 3 minutes at the speed that Corner Store is trying to play at. But Vector having a lot of control in mid, getting 1 killed off actually. The Bay player, 2 Bay players, the 3rd one going down as well. That's all the aggros down for Vector, and now Corner Store having a chance to come back in again with a ball ready in play, possibly having a second ball as well. Basically having a total of no checkpoint, actually no penalty at all, but no, that's just a solid defense. But no,
They miss.
no.
Oh, they missed, but this like gets it in. The second power clam has hit the basket with more to spare. A couple smallers at the way, 32 points, 29, 26, 23, and that will be the end of the push, I believe.
Oh no.
Another one, 23 points remaining. It just see hard forced to back away, and Vector Cry, nice skill by Turtle there, just keeping themselves alive somehow. Vector Cry now have a long way to go because Corner Store are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Vector Cry here.
Everything at the kitchen sink? No, it's more like everything to defend themselves right now, because not everything got balanced. Now we're making it to the 5-minute mark because for C, Hart actually decided to fall back for a little bit instead of playing the risky play to get it down to 3 points. They have another chance to get free ball, but they lose so much pain in mid, and that's what Vector Guy is playing off right now. But again, because of them getting chipped off by Seahart's blaster instead of Story's blaster that's killing off them, they actually get a trade-off with the Stamper. That's a 2 down on each side. Just like in the Vector Core Story, trying to fight back for mid, but Vector Guy having a little bit of disadvantage with the head, it actually go all the way back into spawn by getting killed off in the pit actually. Vector Store just gets the spawn back for free.
Yeah, they will spawn back, but you see Corner Store just putting up a lot of pressure. Another 2 members down for Vector Cry, and I believe mid has been Corner Store's color for a majority, if not all, of this game. 2 minutes to go left in the rest of this game. You see Boo trying to go in. They're gonna get knocked out almost immediately. And Corner Store just keeping flat. Dislike with the splashdown, not quite gonna fix it, but still clearing out some space. Stormy's gonna go down, looking for a couple more picks. Clutch coming out for Corner Store. Boo going in, not able to get a pick actually. Yeah, by the skin of their teeth. ZH there as well. 90 seconds to go left in this game, and Vector Cry has yet to get on the board because it feels like they've been really stuck here on this plat area and haven't been able to get towards mid at all.
Once again, the second because the bait player Stormy was not able to do anything at all. Just this Lake and the Sticker Stamper and Boo all together was able to counter them. They found out the way that they can crack them out. And literally right now with 2 times effect quite as well, the ball coming in really soon. Everyone's in the base. This is like going for the successful splashdown that they want to do. And now we're going to be seeing CH coming in with more clamps. Same with the Sticker Stamper going in with more clamps. That's going to be basically 15 points left. Vector is on the back of their heels now, but more clamps coming up for Seahart.
One clamp will do it. Corner Store, they saw Vector Cry. They let them win a game. Like, okay, gloves are coming off, and Corner Store with a gentleman sweep, I may add, will win the game, will win the set, and will be crowned your From the Ink Up number 87 champions.
Someone had to say it, and you said it correctly. The gentleman's sweep coming in from Corner Store has happened. Once Parasite unfortunately DC'd, they decided to go to change their whole plan, saying from we're going to be waiting for you to come to us so we can kill you more to we're going to kill you instead and let's see what happens. And we saw what happened. They did super well. They invited them to go to the corner store and they got eliminated by Dennis. That's what happened. So Cry, GG's. Your last few results was pretty well, with getting 10th and getting 11th, I think, from what our behind the scene has said. But now going to second, your mojo might be coming back now. You might be able to win the next one. But for Corner Store, a pickup I may add, most likely. Congrats to them. You win. FTAU, are you now Div 7 ban? Did this discount you as a Div 7 ban? I don't know. I don't really remember. Topic, does this count?
We're gonna have to consult the head teals about that one. But with that, that is gonna be it from us. Of course, before we go, we have a couple of housekeeping things to do. Jorian, where can people find you?
Joy on BS Guide, Dapple streaming, and streaming for other tournaments, but not really for some tournaments this weekend because our streamer Sama is actually going to be streaming stuff like Super Jump this weekend, so watch out for that. If you want to watch some top level gameplay, go for there. But Topic, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me over at Blue Sky at Topical 2. I post mainly about where I'm commenting next or whatever I feel like. But that is about it for me. With that, that'll be it from us tonight. Of course, thank you, Sama, for being our wonderful, wonderful streamer. Thank you to all the staff behind the scenes, making sure everything works well. And with that, that'll be it from us. I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see y'all at the next tourney.
Also, shout out to Rockets and Bees for commentating the first block. Okay,
Yes,
good night.
bye.
Watch Super Jump tomorrow.